Disco. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back with another beautiful day of Lidoma Asia Invitational Season number 2. This is FIFA Max, which is presented by Lidoma India, and with our lovely broadcasting partner, that is going to be Loco. My name is Rita. Along with me, it's God on this for day. So, yes, guys, we are excited because this is the second day, or should I say, the day of comeback for the grand finals. Are you excited, God?
Well, I'm pretty much excited because yesterday I was the one who saw each and every match and I saw each and
Hmm.
every player play at their level best.
Right.
And I even, saw how they came back, how E Arena played pretty well, how Nigma Galaxy didn't even get a booyah in the first six matches but made a great comeback and has made around a 11 points lead from the second position. And I'm hoping so that Nigma Galaxy would be pretty chill for today.
Seems like that. Let's see what happens. Nigma Galaxy, after having the lead of more than, I believe, more than 20-25 points from the runner-up team, and eventually the teams which are chasing them, there is a huge lead. And eventually in the playing stage, we also saw that there was a lead of more than 100 points between Nigma Galaxy and the team which was at second position. That was DRANIX, if I'm not wrong. So it seems like that at this point, Nigma Galaxy is one of those teams which is completely here to rule out every other aspect of the particular tournament. And seems like that those 100, or should I say those $1,000 to be precise, might be going in the hands of Team Nigma Galaxy soon enough. If we talk about the prize bracelet, if I'm not wrong, the first team which is actually going to become the champion is going to get $500. The second one is going to get 250. The third one is going to get 150. The fourth one with 50 dollars in the bag, and eventually the MVP is also going to get granted with $50 as well. So there is a lot of performance has to be done. I believe players like Fugod, as you said, God on the back end,
Mhm.
at he's exceptionally well and performing quite well. I believe he could be the MVP. He could be the one of the contender, or should I say, the top contender for the MVP. And guys coming from Team Mafias, I would love to see what happens to them today and how far they are actually going to give the comeback. But it seems quite lovely after seeing the leaderboard. I can see that the teams which are known as underdog teams are actually coming up as the underdogs because they are performing exceptionally well. We saw in the leaderboard. Let's talk about the leaderboard first of all. You can see that Nigma Galaxy is on top with 143 points, 87 eliminations alone coming from this particular team. E Arena on the other corner is actually going to get 132 points. If we talk about OG Elite, 85 points from the corner. OPERAX Esports, I believe that's going to be the underdog team we were talking about. 70 points from the corner, but
Yes.
there is a gap of more than 73 points at that point between Enigma Galaxy and OPERAX. This shows how far Enigma Galaxy is gelled out with the competition.
Well, for sure. But if we talk about OG Elite, the team that was actually undercover yesterday, we
Mhm.
saw them performing consistently. They didn't succeed in getting a booyah or they didn't make it to the top three, but they made sure that they were into the top five teams and had somewhat around 6 or 7 eliminations per match so
Right.
that they would be able to, get into the top three, and they even succeeded in that. And as we all know, Raider, if the teams make it to the first half of the table on the first day, then they are, they get stress free, they get kind of relaxed, and they
Mhm.
can play their level best out on the second day, and they can, make comebacks, and then on the third day, they might get the prize pool as well.
Indeed, there is a huge possibility about it, but at this point, if we talk about the performance drop, we can clearly see that Enigma Galaxy is going to be the team which is on top. Apart from that, E Arena is looking good in terms of the position points that they're getting. They have, after all, got 3 booyahs back to back in the particular day, so that was absolutely amazing. 2 booyahs coming from SES ALFAINK, if I'm not wrong. So that was also
Yes.
lovely. These teams having that kind of energy is going to be quite well. Apart from that, when it comes to the head-to-head between two teams, well, it's going to be Team World of Battle and Team Mafias for now. Both of them are representing the Indian subcontinent. Kills, if I talk about that perspective, 35 coming from Team World of Battle, 29 coming from Team Mafias. Attack ratio is pretty much similar. And when it comes to average survival, I guess there is just a gap of, let's say, few seconds, I believe. And apart from that, if we talk about the win rate, that is also pretty much similar. That means they're pretty much close to each other. But when it comes to the point system, points table, I guess Team World of Battle is having a notch on Team Mafias.
Well, for sure they do have that. And if we talk about TWOB, they have been performing pretty well in the yesterday's matches, as actually they were not performing pretty well in every match. Rather, they were playing it, at an interval. Like, they were playing first match well, then the second match they would die early, then the third match they would play well. That
Right.
was the series they were working on. But if we talk about the second head-to-head, we can see that Nigma Galaxy and OG Elite are on a great head-to-head fight. Nigma Galaxy, on the other hand, if we talk about, they are on the top of the table, and OG Elite are on the third position. Nigma Galaxy leading with 87 kills, and on the other hand, OG Elite with 46. 62% attack ratio from Nigma Galaxy, which shows that they were pretty, aggressive in the last matches. Well, on the other hand, if we talk about OG Elite, they were having a 38% attack ratio, 12.37 minutes average survival time from Nigma Galaxy, and 10.42 minutes from OG Elite. 60% win ratio goes for Nigma Galaxy, and 40% goes for OG Elite.
Well, indeed, the pick rate was absolutely important. And apart from that, if we talk about the regions that these two teams are representing, Nigma Galaxy is coming from Thailand and OG Elite is from Indian subcontinent. It seems quite lovely that this team, particularly known as Nigma Galaxy, is quite aggressive. And meanwhile, they are unable to fall down as well. Nobody is able to contest them the way it has to be there. Although they are not getting the booyahs, that's what we saw in the particular leaderboard. And if just think if they will be able to get the booyahs as well, I believe things will be a little bit more favorable for Team Nigma Galaxy. But at this point, they are the one which are leading the leaderboard. But OG Elite, they are far away, but not that far away. I believe they can easily reach out to that perspective if Nigma Galaxy gets destroyed in 3 or 4 matches back and forth in this particular day of comeback. Because as I am talking about it, it is actually a day of comeback. The teams have to give that kind of strong sense of comeback. The urge of kind of, let's say, gaining those points is going to be quite important from the corner. If we talk about Team Mafias, well, the Mafias have got 1 booyah yesterday, but eventually they're positioning it at #8, which is not great, to be honest. #8 is not a great position to lurk on. So definitely this team has to work out and maybe showcase their strength so that they can actually come forward and maybe gain some good points. But now moving up ahead, we'll talk about the map schedule. So the map schedule is as follows. We are going to get you the first match, Bermuda, then Purgatory will come in, Kalahari will be there, and then the cycle will repeat. It will be Bermuda, Purgatory, Kalahari, but the momentum changer, or should I say, amazing performing type of, let's say, map is actually going to be Alpine, which will come up
Yeah.
as a very bummer if the teams are not experienced about this particular matchup. But when it comes to the map recap, you can see that the first ever Booyah in the grand finals was taken down by the team known as SES ALFAINK, and after that, E Arena came back with two back-to-back Booyahs, and then again SES ALFAINK was there in the match. At that time period, I believe, Imgod, you would have been thinking that how far these teams are going to stretch it out. Like, only two teams were bagging out the four Booyahs that were there in the particular day.
Yes, well, exactly. I was totally thinking about the same thing. But when Team Mafias came back in Purgatory, they actually jumped a few points ahead. They were on the last of the table, and after that Booyah, they got up to the first half of the table and they finished on the first half of the table. I thought that, yes, now it's the time. Now they might come back. But if we talk about the other half of the matches,
Right.
E Arena then came back with one more Booyah and then topped the table. But Nigma Galaxy at the end shocked everyone. They even managed to get a 21 kills Booyah, which was
Wow.
pretty fantastic.
Amazing.
And I was actually amazed by the performance.
Well, Nigma Galaxy is not going to surprise me because they did the same in the planes as well. They had, I believe, 22 frags if I'm not wrong. And apart from that, E Arena Esports was also bang on in the first day of the planes. But after that, the performance went deteriorated. And the day number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, respectively, were not as good for E Arena Esports, but they managed to qualify. So that's good enough. And now they are lurking at the second position. Seems like that they are also here to just give that strong competition. And the two teams which are at the top are the teams coming from Thailand region. Seems like that the grind in Thailand regarding this particular game is actually quite good. But apart from that, if we talk about the Indian continent, I believe we have got OG Elite, which is looking at the third position. OPERAX Esports, and apart from that, I believe Tiger Wong is the two teams which are known as the underdog teams. And TSG Army could be the one fan favorite team which we were talking about. So that was the whole schedule. We had 18 teams from the start, from the scratch of this particular invitational season 2. And out of those 18 teams, only 9 teams qualified after playing 24 matches each, after showcasing this strength for 4 days each in a round robin method to be precise, where every group had six teams, and every team to be precise got 24 matches, got 4 days, out of which BTR Delta was the one team which only came at the last day or at the last 6 matches, and they were just trying to survive or maybe showcase their meta. But eventually the first 3 days that they were missing on was a huge chunk of their points gone in the dust. And eventually, if they would have been present in that particular lobby, things would have been a little bit more comfortable for them. And same goes for RRQ Kazu as well. They were also there in the particular playing stage, but eventually they left for the day number 3, and then they came back in day number 4. That means they played only 18 matches, where all the other teams played approximately, I guess, 24 matches. Well, their points were also not that good. Meanwhile, if we talk about SASL Fang, they also played close to 18 or 22 matches, if I'm not wrong, because 2 or 3 matches they were not available, but still they were able to qualify, and now they are lurking with 2 booyahs. Seems quite well. Let's see how far their comeback is going to come in the second day of this particular grand finals.
Well, actually, this is the grand finals, and on the first day, they set a very high bar. Let's
Hmm.
see if the bar gets crossed today. And as we all know, greater the kickstart, faster you reach the finish line. And that's what we are going to maybe witness from the champions, I would say, because everyone who has reached here has proved their point, has made it out clear that yes, they belong in the grand finals of Asia Invitational Series, and maybe the first match, as we all talk about, Bermuda. Bermuda is the classical map of Free Fire, as we all know. It was one of the very first maps that were introduced in the game, and it is almost statistically the most played maps of all time.
Right.
And let's see what are the strategies of Bermuda for the day.
Precisely. We have to look into it, that how far the people are going to push themselves, and eventually what boundaries are they going to cross, to be honest. Because yesterday's days, should I say, even after getting 3 booyahs, I believe we can fairly say that Nigma Galaxy was the one which was cherishing the yesterday's day, the day number 1 of the grand final. So looking forward to see what E Arena is going to come forward with, because there is not a lot of gap, only 11 points more to snatch from this particular perspective. But I believe the match is about to start, and look at that, we are already diving into the match, and it seems quite lovely. Bermuda has been started, and maybe we are actually going to see some initial clashes. Well, of course, one thing is clear, that there are quite a few teams which are pretty much outside the zone, and eventually they are getting pressurized. Glue walls have been appointed. Might be some perspective where the enemy is going to be in the close quarters. It seems like that World of Battle, Insane and Pahadi are the two members which are pretty much close to each other. And meanwhile, if we talk about the takedowns, I believe yes, it is coming up. This is Nigma Galaxy's top, who is once again starting to pop out quite a blow.
Well, I guess this is the recap that we are witnessing from yesterday's, as this is the same fight that I had,
All right.
saw
Yep.
yesterday. So,
Mhm.
yes, in this fight, I would like to tell you that Insane was going at a very great point. He was leading up, he had the terrain advantage, but Pahari shot him down. And at that point, I was pretty sure that OG Elite would actually get near to the Booyah, and they actually they managed to get it pretty well, but at the end, Team Mafias came in and they got the booyah for them.
Indeed. I mean, we have seen quite often that this kind of thing happens. We see a team particularly which is quite dominating, and eventually at the last second, what happens? They get shattered because there could be some kind of overcommitment, or there could be some kind of brilliant strategy from the enemy as well, and eventually through that, the people get taken down. But for now, as you can see that in the recap, Asin Evo is coming from OG Elite's corner, if I'm not wrong. He was trying his level best to outperform Team Mafia. Delete was on the back foot, and look at that one good shot, and that was absolutely amazing kill coming from Delete's corner. Delete is another beautiful guy who can easily compete in terms of the particular meta of MVP as far as it is concerned.
For
But
sure.
the only thing that is bad from Team Mafia's corner is Delete is doing the hard work, and the other guys are unable to put along the support which is required, because in the planes we talked about this perspective as well, that Delete was a guy which was having 61 frags, and from Nigma Galaxy, Team Nigma Galaxy, the top fragger of the particular planes was having 63 frags. This shows that to be precise, the guy known as Delete was very close to actually turning the table and into his favor, but eventually it was not that easy because the team support was not there. And when it came to the head-to-head between Stop, if I'm not wrong, and Delete, well, the head-to-head was clearly showcasing that Delete was doing close to 51% of the job for the team, and eventually when it came to Stop, he was doing only 31% of the job. This shows that how far his team is supportive in terms of the stances. But now finally we are back in the game, and look at that, the match has been started, and the area from where the flight path started was Bullseye, and it is going towards Sentosa. Let's see where the flight path is going to take these people, because the drop is actually fairly central, and Clock Tower is going to be the region where, if I'm not wrong, it could be Team OG Elite jumping in.
Well, maybe. And as per we talk about the blue zone, the blue tier loot, let's see which team is going towards the shipyard to get that, excess extra loot. And
Right.
as we talk about, we saw the first zone. The first zone is fairly central, and maybe this zone might be favoring major of the teams, but still there are a few loot areas which are outside the zone, and the teams might have to conquer the zone even before the zone shrinkage starts, because if once the zone starts shrinking, they might have to
Mhm.
face adverse consequences.
Indeed, it could be a possibility, but let's see. For now, if we talk about Emoji Elite, yes, they are in the clock tower. There could be some enemy in the close quarters, but eventually nobody wants to just go ahead in the drop clash, because for now, I believe these matches, to be honest, only 14 matches to be precise are left, and these matches are going to be quite important and quite a risky one to lose. But Bhagwan, Old Monk, Pahadi, TX Farhan. Farhan is actually the, I guess, subsidiary guy which was not present in the planes. I don't know he was present in the previous day or not. But for now, if we talk about the shots, Old Monk has been taken down. There comes a redemption, and yes, the knockout is also there from Bhagwan's corner. That's interesting. Now he has to actually go hard and res his teammate, but the shots are already here, and he is not having any kind of shield. And look at that, he also gets taken down. But the comeback coming from Farhan's corner, I guess a counter comes in. A beautiful knockout was there, but now I believe they should focus more than on the revival to the recall. I believe if there one good guy can actually go for the recall, I believe the recall is already done. Old Monk is back in the game. DRANIX Esports is already eliminated.
Wow.
That's bad, man.
Well, that was pretty fast, and I don't think that was something that you would expect on the second day of grand finals, where
Yeah.
you are expected to, make a comeback. But if you talk about OG, OG is pretty playing pretty well. They are playing with good strategies. And if you talk about yesterday's matches, they were not this consistent, they were not this defensive. But today they know how to plant their defenses well. Today they know how to plant their attacks well. And with the full four-man alive, they are right now aggressing ahead.
But eventually, I saw a flank coming from the backhand, and that could be quite risky. Nigma Galaxy's Few God is going to eliminate one more guy. E Arena is also fighting with WEBROS. It seems like that the Nepali giant is under trouble at this point. But E Arena, what they are actually going to do, what kind of, let's say, trouble they are going to pose, is the biggest thing that I want to know. But for now, World of Battles, Itachi gets taken down by Nigma Galaxy. Seems like that Nigma Galaxy is already starting to pop out, and eventually they want to just go ahead and close a deal for another beautiful squad. But Nigma Mafia, they're ready, they're jacked up. Well, the number of finishes are also looking good enough. They are trying their level best to scavenge around and hunt as many as bodies as possible. But the save zone is also now shrinking, so the people have to focus on the rotation as well. But eventually, in the game of Free Fire, in the current meta that I was able to see in the past 6 days of the planes, it seems like that people love to actually perform on the edges of the zone, and only one or two teams which will actually get the hardest compound, or should I say, a hardcore compound where the hardcore cover is going to be there. They actually go for that, and eventually the cover is also not going to help them because the team which is actually going to be on the outside of that particular cover or on the edges of the zone was able to clutch them out. But let's see what happens in the grand finals, because we often see that in the playing stage or in the qualifier stage, people don't showcase their full strength, and in the grand finals they come back with the harshest amount of, let's say, carnage.
Well, for sure they do. And yesterday also we saw a pretty much of a, we saw the hint of the players gave us a hint of what they are capable of,
Hmm.
what they are able to do. But right now I would be praying for Team Mafias, because they tried to make a comeback but they were quite suppressed in the other few matches.
Hmm.
Well, I would want that they should come back today. They should make a comeback today so that they would make a good lead for
Right.
tomorrow and might even go for the prize pool as well.
Hmm. Definitely, that could be important. But for now, if we talk about the live location, you can see that Nigma Galaxy is lurking in the Mars Electric region. Nobody is close to them, but for if we talk about Shipyard, the Blue Zone loot, Delta is actually going to be there. Observatory will be occupied by WEBROS, Bhima Shakti Strip with the team two side gamers, that is going to be TSG, Clock Tower with the OG Elites, and the ratings already gets eliminated at hashtag 11, hashtag 12 to be honest. Cape Town, Team Mafia is there. Clock Tower, I believe that region. OG and TGWIN, that means Tiger Wong is actually going to be there. SES ALFAINK is in the Mill region. ERINA in the Katolitsiva. Team World of Battle in the Kotatua. And OPERAX is actually going to be there in the Sentosa region. For now, World of Battle, as you can see that, they're trying their level best to just bring back the glory of the team. And yes, their players are back in the game. But what is it? Team WE, I believe they are actually suffering at this point. Let's see what kind of performance they are actually going to pull through at this point. Seems like that this is Team Tiger Wong, if I'm not wrong. But yes, they are getting connected quite a bit. Faker has been finished, Dimas has been finished, Denzo Shin has been finished, and Zax is actually going to be the last member standing. He's just completely trying to bail out from this situation, although it won't be that easy because look at that. In the close quarters, it's a very open ground, and if you want to rotate, you can easily be taken down from the enemy.
Well, actually, if we talk about Clock Tower was totally conquered by OG Elite, if we talk
Hmm.
about. And they had already finished up 3 players, and even we saw Team DRANIX getting eliminated. So this is quite of a harsh point for Team TWE for now. Because if they don't manage to escape right now and recall for the players, they might not be able to survive in the match anymore. And if we talk about OG is totally searching around. They are hunting around for the region. If they find the last player, they might kill it. And this might be the last point for Tiger Wong as well.
Oh, the shots are there. He should have not actually made that mistake of shooting him down, but he thought that he has been spotted, and that's what happened. At this point, if we're talking about Zax looking very shy of his HP, and look at that, I believe the finish is going to be there. And yes, another team, Tiger Wong, has been eliminated. OG Elite is looking quite sharp at this point. If we're talking about specifically, Old Monkey has gathered 2 finishes, and Farhan, Bhagwan, and his all the teammates, to be precise, are back in the game. After all, what more do you want at this point? You have got the frags, you have got your teammates, you have got the area where you wanted to loot. You've got the area which is in the circle as well. So it seems quite lovely and pretty much easy a game from the start for Team OG Elite. But eventually, as far as the game is going to shift in, when the circle will shrink, when the safe zone will actually come to a close quarter, when the proximity of the teams are going to increase, then I believe OG Elite is going to have trouble, because that's what the main problem of OG Elite is all about. They are able to start up a fight, they are able to end it in the near future, but then when it comes to the, should I say, end zones, at that point OG Elite gets shattered quite a bit. Pahadi is a very good sniper, but eventually he's unable to give those covers which is required at that last moment, because the current meta is all about the aggression. People don't actually fight in let's say 1v1 duel where there is a distance of 100 meter and stuff like that. People actually go ahead and put the glue walls and push along with that, and that is actually quite critical for now. But for Han, with the woodpecker, he's just trying to lurk in the shadow. M187 is in the backpack along with the machete that is required, but they are unable to shoot them down. They are unable to put them down. But Team Mafia, if we talk about them, Mafia himself has been taken down. Delete the OG surviving. Mafia Bala is there, and Killer is also going to survive. But Mafia Bala, let's see what he's going to do, because he's the outside. He's at the outskirts of the zone, which is pretty much far away. I believe the Cape Town is the region where they are, but now he's going to get the vehicle and eventually go for the zone.
Well, actually, prioritizing the zone right now is the major, should be the major focus for all the teams right now. And if we talk about Team Mafia, they've already lost two casualties, and for now they are only left down to only two men. And for now, if they don't, prioritize the zone, they might even end up getting finished up at the 10th position for now. And as we saw, OPX, Team OPX up with all the four players, but as I said that one player can be seen 100 down. One player is already down on all fours. Let's see, will he be able to get revived? No, he won't. He is finished off. And with this, one casualty on OPX's side, and let's see what is going to happen for further situations.
Well, looking forward to it, that how far they're going to stretch this kind of glory. World of Battle seems quite lovely at this point. Well, they have gathered one or two finishes, or it seems like that in the initial fight, Nigma Galaxy was the one which was actually gathering a lot of points from this particular team. They were taking advantage of their eliminations. So World of Battle, well, fortunately they're back in the game. Itachi and Sasuke Bhai was revived out, but look at that, insane. Gets straight up in the enemy's face, and now he has been taken down. Finishes there, and that is team SES ALFAINK, which was not going to let it go that easy. The team coming from Indonesian region is very hungry in terms of the points that they wanted to gain, because even after getting two booyahs, they were not at a very comfortable spot in the leaderboard. So that's what they want to go with. For now, Sasuke Bhai, Shantae, and Itachi are the three members which are surviving. 33 is the right amount of players that we have in the lobby, and out of those 33 players, 3 are from Team World of Battle. But let's see what they're going to figure out. Are they going to take up a fight, or are they going to just completely bail out from the situation, or maybe go back for the recalls? Because look at that, we have the vending machine in the close quarter, so they can actually go for that if they have got the shop tokens. But eventually, the shop tokens are not going to be there. That can be quite critical. Itachi, meanwhile, goes in for the crate, searches for the loot, fails to do so. But on the back foot, I believe the shots are now starting to come in.
Well, for sure, but if we talk about the current scenario of all teams, OG Elite can be seen with 8 finishes for their team, and they're also full 4-man squad alive for now, which means that they have a pretty great advantage for now. But as we talked about it earlier, that they are not able to, defend themselves pretty well in the last zones. Let's see what are they going to do in the last zone scenarios. But for now, if we talk about the teams, WB can be seen, WEBROS can be seen as a 3-man team right now. And this 3-man team, 3-man tag team, I would say, is advancing towards the zone. About to capture the edge of the zone. And if we talk about Nigma Galaxy is already inside the zone. They have taken a pretty hard edge, and from this edge, they might hunt down the players as well. E Arena has been eliminated, and that's a pretty shocking news for all of us.
Well, the team which has secured the maximum amount of booyah is not even surviving at this point in the first match of day number 2, or should I say the day of comeback. Seems like that at this moment. The energy, the consistency of the other teams is looking quite well. Dedro Esports, well, okay, Dedro Esports is one member that is going to be Exit Raj, is actually playing with two side gamers as his team TSG, but the Orangutan is having the domination. 9 kills is already there
Wow.
from the corner. Seems quite lovely. All I want to see is them getting the booyah at this point, because yes, we have seen Orangutan doing this kind of exceptionally well performance in the earlier stages, but they are unable to wrap up the match in their favor. So that's the one thing I would love to see, that they are actually going to wrap this first match, or should I say match number 8 of the grand finals, in their favor after getting a beautiful booyah. That could be lovely, and a motivation booster to be precise for the team as well. If I talk about SES ALFAINK, Ray, Jojo and the other members are there. Bara gets attacked quite a bit. His HP is not looking good. Ray is also getting attacked. Jojo is actually on the back foot, trying to give the cover, trying to just lurk in the shadow and maybe search the enemies. Oh, that was a brilliant shot, to be honest. But Gide, well, he's pretty much ready with the fights, and he's trying his level best to appoint the shots. Clock Tower is the region where we are actually looking at, and the zone could actually come in this particular region. So it can be quite lovely to see that kind of, let's say, clash. And Ingrid, I would love to ask you that you love the open zone fields, open fights, or these kind of compounded fights that we are going to witness in this particular matchup.
Well, as an audience, if I talk about, I would love to see the open zone fights, because there are no, artificial covers such as the buildings and the proper structures. But if we talk about the zone has taken a 50-50 shift. 50% of the zone can be seen in the open areas, and 50% of the zone can be seen in the hard covers. One beautiful knock from Gide, and Gide finishes it off with the first finish for the team. And I guess so, the team will advance to get more finishes, because if we talk about the last 2 matches that we witnessed of Bermuda yesterday, SES was the team that hoisted their flag in both the matches by taking both the matches their home as a booyah. Beautiful shot, 150 damage, which means one more shot and the player gets knocked out. 2 knocks back to back, and Team Mafias gets eliminated pretty early.
Well, there we go. The eliminations are coming up, and it's Mafias who are going to be a little bit more sad, and which their fans are actually going to be shattered. But this is all about the game. It's a glorified fight from the corner to be precise. But Jojo on the other corner, SESL Fank's member, has been taken down, and that could be a great casualty for Team SESL Fank as well. After all, in the last circle, you need the highest amount of manpower that is required. That is pretty much close to you. But look at those shots that this guy is actually trying to pose. He's a very big threat on the enemy, and it is Team WEBROS which is getting circle with the shots. And earlier I saw in this particular fight that WEBROS is fighting with only the three-man power. Two of them have been knocked out. Only one player is surviving, but that is not the case coming from SESL Fang. And it seems like that SESL Fang also doesn't know that there is only three men standing in that particular fight. And if they would have known, I guess this kind of situation is there, they would have been pushing on the particular perspective. But no, the push is not there. Now they're going to use the launch pads so that they can reach out to the clock tower region, which is pretty much in the zone. And look at that, they have reached out to the particular area, but where they have reached, there is already an enemy. Now they are going to put him down. That's going to be NIGMA Galaxy. Oh, seems like that we are actually in a fight, in a close quarter with NIGMA Galaxy. Let's see what the result is all about, how far the result is going to get pushed. But it is looking a little bit more on the shaky corner for Team SESL Fang. Look at that, Bara not looking good on his HP. Two side gamers also gets eliminated, and Gide, if I talk about his HP is also not good. They're trying their level best to repass themselves, but from the front line, the shots are coming. Delta X on the other corner also gets taken, and OG Elite after losing with one is not looking that good. But then again, Old Monk gathers the 4 frags that was required.
Well, for sure, and the team looks pretty strong right now. He has also got a penta kill, and for the team, they have a total of 12 kills right now with 3 men standing, which I don't think so is a pretty bad scenario in the last final zones, I would say. And for now, the SES zone has got a shrinking, and right now, if
Yep.
we talk about Old Monk can be seen at a good position. He's trying to flank out. He's trying to make some angles over the enemies. And
Mm-hmm.
also, he might plan out to get a different kind of entry inside the zone, which
Yep.
might be helpful for them. But the reigning champions of Bermuda, SES ALFAINK, can be seen eliminated pretty soon. Now, if we talk about, we have only 4 teams left. TWOB with a 1 man remaining, and OG with 14 finishes and 3 men remaining. Let's see, will they be able to convert this 3 man advantage into the booyah or not?
It's a very open-ended fight to be precise, but then the launch pad has been, I guess, placed, and now they are actually just trying their level best to push forward. Oh, the rooftop advantage is going to be there from the corner, and already the shots are coming up. That seems quite a little bit, should I say, advantageous for this team. Particularly, they are unable to read the enemy. Should I say, are unable to read that where the particular teammates of OG are, but that's good enough. They have actually got a very decent approach from the corner, and look at that, the number of finishes is just rising. The number of knockouts is just rising from the corner, and now the melter, the glue wall melter has been appointed so that the particular walls which have been appointed can melt. But from the left side, Pahadi gets taken down. That's a sad side to be precise. But then again, the glue wall melter is now melting their own walls. That's sad. But Pahadi is back in the game. The revival is done. Now they're pushing forward. It's a 2v3 if I'm not wrong, or it could be a 1v1v3. So let's see what happens. How far the situation will be stretched out. For now, Old Monk, Pahadi, Farhan, they are trying to take a little bit more time period out of this fight, and eventually then they will be able to push forward. They don't know that where the enemy is, but he's actually beyond these stairs, if I'm not wrong, beyond this particular area. And yes, they are coming to the close quarter, but the glue wall appointed at the same time was able to give them the jump. It's World of Battles Insane, which is at the question, and no, he also gets taken down. And finally, the booyah is coming from the team known as OG Elite. They were dropping in the clock tower region. Now they are actually the defending champion of the clock tower. Nobody was able to contest them, or should I say push them outside the particular perspective. First of all, they were able to eliminate DRANIX, then Tiger Wong came in, and after that we saw Team World of Battle getting shattered, and quite a few other teams were able to just, let's say, get down from their particular perspective. Now they're proving us as a caster also wrong. That is absolutely amazing. We thought that Orangutan is unable to sum up the fights, but if you come in the apes territory, they are actually going to punch you down. That's what happened. Orangutan with a beautiful booyah is here in the game.
Well, for sure, they are back in the game. And if we talk about the orangutans, well, they are kind of an Asian apes who are very predominant to their
Hmm.
territory, and they are actually very, guardful towards their territory. And that's what they did. Their territory was clock tower, their zone favored them, and then they were unstoppable. They were not the ones who could be stopped by anyone. Using the launch pads at perfect time to get that
Yeah.
higher terrain advantage over the enemies was the perfect, I would say, strategy from OG's end. And with that 3 man advantage, yes, they actually converted it into a booyah. And with the 30 points, I guess they would have managed to get towards the second, or maybe near towards the first position on the leaderboard.
Looking forward to see what kind of impact is going to be there, because if I'm not wrong, Nigma Galaxy also went out quite early in the fifth, sixth position. Apart from that, Team World of Battle, which was actually at the bottom of the list, sort of, well, they were surviving, so that's good enough. I mean, the teams which are actually are not in a very good spot were able to survive in this particular fight, except
Hmm.
the teams like Tiger Wong and OPERAX, because these were the two teams which were still having the fair share of the fight. And Tiger Wong was just on the bottom, or should I say, maybe 11th or 10th position on the leaderboard, and they went out quite early. And the team which was able to push them out was Orangutan, as you saw. So it was quite amazing to see that those ups and downs are actually going to change a lot in the leaderboard. But unfortunately, we are not going to get the leaderboard as an overall standing of day number one and day number two combined right now. We are going to get the overall standing of day number two precisely. So first of all, we are going to see what happened in the first match, and that leaderboard will come in quite shortly, I believe. But yes, the aggression was on point. Be it Team OG, be it Team World of Battle, everybody was trying their level best to outperform each other and maybe secure the booyahs. But eventually, at the end, OG having the manpower, three-man power, was able to do it very beautifully. Although Pahadi for a minute level of time was taken down, and eventually at that moment I thought now the moment of OG could be shattered. And usually that's what happens to OG, because if one or two members at the last circle gets taken down, and then the team starts to panic out that should we fight or should we just go ahead and res out our teammate. And that's the wrong calls that were making in the previous play-ins. But now I believe they are learned, and situations were a little bit more favorable for them, because Pahadi was knocked out just on the bare feet of Bhagwan and the other guy that was actually surviving from the team of OG Elite, and they were able to raise him out by appointing glue walls. If they had to reach out to him and eventually go for the revivals, I believe at that moment things would have not been that easy. But all said and done, the result is pretty much clear. It's the booyah coming from Team OG Elite. Would love to see how many finishes have they gathered. If they have actually got close to 15 finishes and 12 for the position points, that would be lovely. That could be a very lovely 27 pointer or more than 30 pointer. If it is there, that could be a very lovely approach coming from the team, because after all the fans of OGs wanted this kind of gameplay to come from the corner, and yes, it is here.
Well, actually, OG played in an OG way, that I would like to say. And conquering the region, I would say, was pretty difficult for them. As you said, fight or flight gets pretty serious for them. They are not able to, conquer over that situation. But today, they did so. Their own glue wall melters were melting the glue walls, but they somehow managed to plant even more glue walls, managed to get those layers out. And also, Farhan, I would like to say, played a very brilliant job. He was out there guarding the areas. He was out there guarding the areas where Old Monk could res Pahadi, so that both of them got on their feet, and then they pushed on forward, and the 1v1v3 was converted into Booyah by OG. And I would like to see what do they do in the second map, which is
Yeah.
Purgatory, the map of three islands, where the zone shift depends. Where the zone shift changes the whole game. There, all you have to do is, predict the zones, get into the zone, and then take a hard cover, take a good cover where you can spot the enemies and take them down.
Well, looking forward to it, how far the situation will help them. But as no monitor on the live chat is saying, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And apart from that, we are very, very, very close to the 70K subscribers margin that we wanted to hit in the particular tournament. 68.2K is already done. Only, I guess, 1,800 subscribers are more required. And eventually, the watching, if I talk about the watching coming on the Hindi stream, it seems quite lovely. We are actually hitting 3K every day. So if you guys are actually going to subscribe, that would be absolutely lovely. That is just a motivation booster for us as at Lidoma and as a caster, that yes, we are casting and people are enjoying our casting, and for Lidoma, that yes, we are putting up this kind of tournament and people are loving this kind of tournament, and we are going to bring back more and more tournaments. Because at the end of the day, if you are actually going to support, we are going to come up with many more tournaments, many more IPs like this one. Invitational season 2, you saw Invitational season 1 happening, you saw Asia Open happening. A lot of leagues were there from this particular game, from this particular org as well. And our broadcasting partner Loco is also going to come up with some good, decent prize pool and along with some beautiful events. But now, I guess, as Aim God said, we have to talk about the Purgatory, because that is the map everybody fears. Because that is a map of three islands. You have to travel a lot. You have to go with the bridges, or you can actually go use the slingshots, or the jump pads are actually going to be quite important at this point. So let's see what happens in that particular matchup as well. Nigma Galaxy, although they were able to, should I say, survive for sixth or seventh position, but that jump was not that decent. And now, I guess, upcoming matches are going to be the one question that everybody wants to know, at what is the specific team known as Nigma Galaxy is going to do, because another beautiful team known as Arena Esports was also wiped out quite early. So two or three teams which was, should I say, dominating in the leaderboard went out quite early, but eventually OG Elite is the one team which was dominating in the leaderboard. They were in the top three, and now they might be actually pushing themselves to the top two positions, because to be precise, the team known as Arena Esports, they had the point, but eventually the gap was a little bit higher. It seems like that because if I'm not wrong, I'm able to recall that team Arena Esports was able to have 132 points in the first day, and
Mhm.
what OG Elite had was close to 85 or 89 points. So even after getting a booyah, it seems like that they won't be able to go to the second position, but yes, they will be able to narrow the gap and meanwhile push the other teams which are at hashtag 456, which wanted to snatch down Team OG Elite and create that gap between them so that they can also be at a very comfortable spot. That yes, we are at hashtag 3, that's good enough, we are here, but nobody is actually catching up to us. So that is actually going to be the goal for OG Elite. But now I believe the overall standings are here, and look at that, it's Team Nigma Galaxy with 156 points. Okay, the leaderboard is actually going to come up as a combined leaderboard. That's amazing. Arena Esports on the other corner is going to get 138, and yes, that's what I was talking about. OG Elite, after having this kind of amazing performance and a booyah, 115 points, and look at the gap between OGs and Team World of Battle.
Well, actually, if we talk about Team World Battle, can be seen jumping ahead from sixth position to fourth position right now, and OPERAX Esports can also be seen on the fourth, have come down from fourth position to fifth position. And if we talk about why so, this is because of the kill points. Maximum the kill points, the higher you go in the table, and that's what happens. But if we talk about SES ALFAINK, the team to get eliminated, one of the earliest was not this is not something that was expected from the reigning champions of Bermuda. But if we talk about, they have played only 7 matches and still they are contending towards the top 6 teams of the day. Let's see what are they going to how are they going to perform in the later half of the grand finals day 2.
Well, indeed, this is going to be quite important to see what happens. But eventually, you saw that SAS Alfang was having little minus 10 red marker. The reason being, reason of that particular 10 pointer getting out of that particular equation for SAS Alfang is that they were able to use pets. You don't have to use pets or any other ability that is actually going to come from specific characters. I mean, that is the rule that was there in this particular invitational season too. So all the other teams are pretty much aware about it. And SAS Alfang, well, they did use the pets, and the reason being and the reason, or should I say the outcome of that usage, is actually going to be a penalty of subscribers, should I say, subtracting 10 points out of their whole overall 87 points that they were able to secure. So currently they are stuck at hashtag 6 with only 77 points. But now I believe another match has been started from Marble Works to the Forge region. The flight path was there, and the people are jumping in the favorable vicinities, and we are looking at OG Elite, which are pretty much close to their home drop location, that is going to be Sky Lodge. But let's see what they are going to do, because for now Old Monk and his teammates are trying to be a little bit more on the scattered corners, and Old Monk meanwhile, just after dropping, was able to bag out a beautiful finish. That's good enough. They're pretty much close to a recall area, and fighting in this particular region is good enough. But let's see what happens.
Well, for sure, I'm also waiting to see what is going to happen right now. Let's see what are the players up to. If we talk about here, the players are actually going on forward. They are going on killing. They are going on a killing spree right now. Old Monk, in the starting of the game, he has got 2 finishes for his team, which means OG is again on a lead. If we talk about OG for present scenario, OG is in an aggressive stance for the day. They are not looking for the passiveness. They are not at all in the passive situation that they were yesterday. They are totally on the aggressive edge. They are totally on their edge of the seats to jump in the battle and just start rampaging all over. And that's what they are doing. They are playing in splits right now. Yesterday, if we talk about OG splits, they were not working pretty well. But if we talk about today, OG has planned the splits pretty well, and they know when and where to play, how to play,
Right.
and how to coordinate amongst themselves. You can see that there is a almost 100-meter gap between all the 4 players, and that makes sense when these players start eliminating teams one by one.
It is actually going to be quite fruitful, but then again, fighting, like, let's say, very far away from your teammates is also going to come up with some disadvantages. Like, you can easily be taken down, but the beauty of Free Fire is actually going to be that you can easily go ahead, gather the shop tokens, and bring back your teammates, or you can go for the recall tower and eventually bring back your teammates. So that is the best part. If you are actually fighting like a team, then if you are actually in a crosshair, the whole team can be shattered. But if you are fighting scattered, I believe even if your 3 members are going to get finished off, the last one can easily go for the recalls and bring back the whole team back in the game. So that's absolutely a lovely approach. But for now, if I talk about Team Mafia, they're also scattered and trying to loot beyond the crossroads. If I'm not wrong, they're just trying to figure out that what they have to have in their bags, and what kind of loot is actually going to help them. I believe Scar and M187 is actually going to be the 2 guns that this guy killer is going to have, and all the shop tokens that he was able to gather is actually going to be in the backpack of another guy, so that he can help in terms of the recalls. Because if I talk about Killer, if I talk about Mafia and Delta, these are 3-4 members which are able to be a little bit more on the chaotic corner. They're able to push forward, and eventually one guy from their team is actually going to be the one who will be the escape goat, that he can actually go ahead and bring back the team. But if we talk about OPERAX, Yugi is there with the vehicles. He's trying to rotate, but his teammates, look at that, Madan and Echo have been taken down. Insane is there, but Insane is not that close. I believe Central is actually going to be the region where this guy is actually going to go and bring back his teammates. Although wherever the recall tower is there, I believe the enemy could be there. And yes, look at that. The enemy was there. The shots came in. And that is why this guy is actually going to fall back. But the vehicle is in flame. He can easily go down out of it. But now he wants to fall back. He was able to just stitch out the vehicle. And now he's just trying to push out. But no, Yogi, you will be at a loss. And yes, it is what is going to happen. Now Insane becomes the last man standing. Let's see. Can he bring back the team, or OPERAX is going to go out quite early?
Well, Insane has huge, or I would say insane pressure on his shoulders right now. He has to recall his whole team, as well as he has to get inside the zone as well. He is on a verge where he might be the reason why his team gets completely eliminated. But I would not like to blame it all on this solo player, as he's trying his level best right now. If you see, he's gathering loot so that, he might be able to engage into a 1v1 fight against someone. If he has to go for that in order to revive his teammates, he's getting the particular first aids, he's getting the bandages and all the healing items that he needs right now, but he must recover his EP pretty early, or else he might have to face consequences for that.
Well, in the close quarters, I believe the consequences are going to get followed up soon enough. But Insane, look at that zone damage. He is not having any kind of first hits, I believe. If he was able to just should I say bring back his teammates, then it would be quite lovely. But now he's actually going to use the Zapling area. But UAV has been deployed in this close quarter, so he can easily be figured out. And if that happens, it could be quite risky. But if I talk about Delta Fox, let's see what they're going to do. Team World of Battle on the other corner are on a roll. They're trying their best to figure out where the enemy could be, because they've got the manpower. But Shanti is way too far away. He's pretty much far away. I believe 220 meters is the right distance that is actually there. But Shanti is also trying to come in the close quarter, I believe, and that can help them. Shop tokens are there from the vending machine. They are actually going to get their desired loot. But Team Dedros, I believe that was the guy fighting for Team Two Side Gamers, TSG. Dedro is Exit Ratch, and yes, TSG is fighting with SES ALFAINK. And there was a knockout coming from Exit Ratch's corner, but finally, I believe SES is able to answer back that knockout. Would love to see what happens at the particular perspective as well. But Team World of Battle is looking good. Insane was able to gather 3 finishes. I mean, what more can you ask in the close quarter circles, in the initial circles? But on the back corner, if I talk about Shanti, he's just trying his level best to gather as many as utilities as possible. But TSG, I mean, finally gets eliminated. Well, again, quite early, just like the previous match.
Well, actually, this is not expected from the fan favorite team to disappoint the fans like this. TSG was actually, I expected TSG to perform a bit better on the second day, but I guess the consistency remains same. TSG hasn't performed well since yesterday, but I guess right now the exchange of snipers can be seen. Itachi with a sniper can be seen sniping out long range shots and getting, those long range frags as well. But if we talk about WEBROS right now can be seen at a good position at the central region, and they might be the ones that eliminated OPERAX's one player. If we talk about, and if we talk about SES ALFAINK, they've already lost 2 players. EA lost 2 players, but if we talk about OG is up with a full 4-man squad, and Team Mafia can also be seen with a full 4-man squad. Well, I have a good phrase about delete. Delete loves to delete his opponents, and maybe he might be doing the same today. Let's see what is going to happen. What are we going to witness from the edge of Team Mafia?
Well, indeed, we are excited and we are quite stoked to see what this guy is actually going to bring to the table. Although there is no doubt that this guy is very aggressive, this guy is very chaotic. And when it comes to the aggression, I believe we have to figure out that yes, the lobby is also quite aggressive, because after all, this is the Asia League, where all of the teams coming from the Asian continent is actually going to be present. We had teams from Pakistan, we had teams from Nepal. I'm talking about the playing stage where previously 18 teams were invited. We had teams coming from Pakistan, Thailand was there, Indonesia was there, India was there, Bangladesh was even there, and apart from that, Nepal was there. So 6 or 7 regions coming from the Asian continent was there. And apart from that, I believe the Pakistani team has been eliminated. That was hot shot official. And the Bangladeshi team has been eliminated from this particular situation. That was RHK official. But now let's go to SES ALFAINK. We have got 7 kills from the corner. They are already dominating. And out of those 7 kills, I believe 4 were from TSG that they were able to eliminate. But moving forward, let's see what happens. OPERAX is looking good enough. Madan is there on the back foot. OG Elite started it off quite well. WEBROS is also having 2 frags, and the 4-man power that is pretty much similar to what OG is having for now. Team Mafia also gather 1 frag, but Team World of Battle, look at them, 3 finishes and with the 4-man power. Seems like that they are pretty much ready and jacked up to have as many S1s as required. SES ALFAINK also looking quite well with 7 frags and 4-member standing in the lobby, and they're just trying to regroup, gather as many as loots as possible. And the only team which has been eliminated is going to be 2 side gamers, or should I say TSG Army, but they didn't went out, should I say, empty-handed. Yes, 3 knockouts, 3 kills was there from the corner, but NIGMA Galaxy, is he going to stop? Well, seems like that. No at the time, but no stop is actually going to be at the very unforgiving angle, because he's the last man standing of his team and his position is pretty much revealed. Although he's able to get 2 frags for his team, but now the reasonable fights are actually going to come up to an end, because the play zone is actually going to push him. The enemy is going to push him from the back end, and he's getting shot from multiple corners. And yes, it's NIGMA Galaxy once again getting taken down. They are being tattered, they are being shattered for now, and it's Team OG which is going to pick up the shattering fights. And with that, OG is actually going to eliminate one of the biggest competition that they have in the lobby for now.
Well, OG is actually getting me worried right now. I am pretty much worried. Will they be the ones to top the table at the end of this day? Maybe or maybe not. Let's see what the future has in store for us. But for now, if we talk about OG can be seen at a pretty great spot. They have a good angle towards the zone. They have a higher terrain as well. They might scout the regions inside the zone, and then they might prefer to move in at the last moment as well. But if we talk about the zone shrinkage, the zone would start shrinking in 10 seconds, and that crucial 10 seconds would be enough for Team OG to get a safer area inside the zone, and they might be able to, configure out where the enemies are, where they might get advantages over the zone, where the zone might get shifted in the next shift. Let's see what are we going to witness from OG's end today.
I mean, indeed, it is quite possible to see OG getting shattered, but then again, if we talk about their meta, it's looking quite good. They are trying their level to perform exceptionally well. I believe the deadboard has updated, because we saw the 2 frags before they were able to eliminate the Galaxy, but let's see what happens after that board is going to get updated, that how many frags specifically this team is going to have. NIGMA Galaxy, although they had only 2 frags, and Stop was the guy which was able to get those 2 frags. I believe today Few Gods meta is not working at its charm, so that is a sad side to watch. But apart from that, Campside and Lumberbill is actually going to be the 2 big regions beyond which the zone is actually going to form. And look at that, we already have a water body in the close quarter, and Pahadi is, with his beautiful snapping skills, is going to bag out another beautiful frag. I mean, he is not going to stop anytime soon, but no, I believe the shots are coming up, and these damages are going to be quite credential. 74 and another beautiful knockout. That is absolutely amazing. This guy is just unforgiving at this point, but Lil Tykes also gets eliminated. The shots are coming up, but he's unable to finish off the job that he was able to start. But another knockout comes in. I believe it could be the same guy who was pretty much knocked out earlier. After getting the revival, he is actually going to get down. But Mafia on the other corner also bags down another beautiful knockout. And look at that, OG with a beautiful rotation. They are the one which is actually tasting the zone very close to them. But back end shots are something which is going to be quite important. And the way this guy Pahadi is trying to take up the shot, don't you think so, Imgod, that all the other teams are also going to learn that yes, we have the enemy in the close quarter?
Well, for sure, they might be learning about that. But if you talk about E-Arena, they also got eliminated soon. And now, Farhan was knocked down. But look at the, cover from his teammates. OG was at a good spot, but they were unable to save Farhan for the moment. Right now, if we talk about Pahadi, is at a situation where he is totally wrecking it out for everyone with a sniper, playing brilliantly, giving out damages and knocking out as many players as he can. And if we talk about OG situation right now, they have a great high ground advantage, and with this advantage, they are able to eliminate even more teams. And if we talk about OPERAX has also been eliminated right now, we are only left with the top 6 teams for the moment. 18 players on an average. If we talk about, there's an average of 3 players each team. Let's see what is this average going to help in.
Definitely looking forward to see what kind of, let's say, advantage they are actually going to get. But yes, if we talk about the callouts, if we talk about the flagging power, yes, the Team OG is looking good at that point. But Farhan, after their loss, now look at that. I guess some teams have focus a bit on Team OG, and this can be quite critical for them because 18 players are surviving. It seems like that the position points are not going to be that maximized. But look at that, the knockout came in. Oh, two guys from Team OG have been taken down. It's all about Bhagwan. Let's see what he can do. It's a little bit more unforgiving for this guy because he's the last one standing. All he has to do now is just survive as much as he can. But the way he's getting shattered, the way he's picking up the frags is not looking that good. But WEBROS on the other corner was able to eliminate another good guy from the lobby. Team Tiger Wong is able to survive. That's amazing. Tiger Wong is surviving in the lobby, but they are also getting shattered. Another good shot could be coming up soon, and yes, the shot goes in. And well, the shot was not that fruitful, but yes, the damage was there. But another nade goes in, and that nade was absolutely on point. Seems like that Team Mafia is looking good with the, I believe, having the 4-man power. Nothing more that you can ask at this point. But Team World of Battle once again gets eliminated quite early. If OG is able to survive, like let's say in the top 3, that would be amazing. But another shot comes in. It's Killer who has been down. Deletes his HPs is not actually going to be that good, but Mafia Bala and his teammates are actually going to constantly make as many as glue walls as possible so that they can bring back the cover for the team. Apart from that, the woodpecker shots are something which is going to be quite important for the guys. But beyond one tree, 3 members are surviving, 3 members are lurking in the shadowy regions. It can be quite critical, and Delete goes in to repatch himself so that the zone damage won't be able to push him that far away. Although the shots are coming up, and now Delete has to just move forward. But oh, he fails to do so. OG Elite on the back corner is also surviving. That seems quite lovely. And if it is going to happen, that would be lovely. WEBROS, I believe, is looking quite well in terms of the Booyah. They can easily secure the Booyah. Seems like that. The way they are performing, the Booyah is a little bit more closer for the team known as WEBROS.
Well, Team Mafia have already lost 2 players right now.
Yeah.
And if we talk about WEBROS, WEBROS are surviving with our full 4-man squad. And this might be the chance where WEBROS get their first booyah. But if we talk about TE Killer, he's totally on a rampage right now, getting a quadra kill, but getting finished out pretty soon. If we talk about WB, I mean WEBROS are on a good run right now. Let's see, will they be able to get the booyah, or will Bhagwan be the one to clutch out the situation for his team?
Yeah, indeed, it's a 1v2. It's a very important 1v2 to be precise. M10 and Woodpecker is going to be the 2 guns that this guy is actually going to have. Poison goes in and cooks up a beautiful nade, but these nades could be impacting him quite a bit. And yes, the impact was there, but the glue walls are once again getting appointed, although these hasty decisions are not helping him a lot. Another nade comes in. This nade could have impacted. The glue wall melter should be coming in soon enough. And yeah, the melter is there. Look at that. Those green auras are actually going to be the glue wall melter. But they've got the scythe in their hands. They've got the M249 also in the hand. Poison is pretty much ready to just pull up as many shots as possible. But the guy falls down from the top. I believe that would have been a knockout if I'm not wrong as a result. But apart from that, if we talk about Poison, he's the last man standing. The shot comes in. Poison is not looking good at its SP. Bhagwan, will he be able to do so? Will he be able to clutch out this moment in his favor? Seems like that. Poison, well, you are about to go down, that's for sure. The nades are going to come close quarters, and not even one nade. I guess 2-3 nades are going to be there. He's just going to create a beautiful dead zone that is actually going to be possible for him. But Bhagwan is coming back with some good shots. Although the glue wall fights are going to be very important. Poison also cooks up some glue walls, but he has got the M1887, and that will result in a beautiful booyah getting in the hands of team known as WEBROS. After all, it's team WEBROS which is actually going to get the booyah, and that's the first for the Nepali giant. A beautiful comeback indeed, but I'm actually very heavy for the team OG as well. A little bit sad on the note that they were able to outperform the team WEBROS. Reason being that they didn't have the right amount of, let's say, guns, or should I say right consistency or right accumulation of the particular gun. As we all know, M187 is a very devastating gun. Those blows in the close quarter, it's a very good shotgun to be precise to be used in the close quarters, and that's what this guy was able to do from team WEBROS. And WEBROS are not going to be that happy, to be honest, because their kills were not that much, and they were able to pick up on teams like the Mafias and OG as well. I believe OG also got shattered from the same team, but then again, I believe if they were able to have some kind of, let's say, advantage in terms of the finishes, close to 10 finishes, if it would have been there in the corner, it would have been a very fruitful scenario. But now all said and done, it's WEBROS with the second booyah for the day number 2 of the Invitational Season number 2 Grand Finals.
Well, the name second day of comeback has actually got its worth, because today the first booyah was from Orangutan, who didn't have any booyahs till now. The second booyah came in from the ones that were at the table bottom, that were on the 12th position. WEBROS came in and got the booyah for themselves, and right now I guess they might have jumped a few points ahead. And as Tiger Wong was also seen at a great position, The tussle between these two teams might be pretty interesting to watch at the leaderboard, but the leaderboard must have been shifted a bit. As right now, if we talk about E Arena and Nigma Galaxy, both were eliminated pretty early. The two major opponents of Orangutan, but Orangutan somehow managed to get inside the top, and they might have even got the booyahs for them, but due to the lack of arms and ammunitions perfectly, they weren't able to get the close combat in their favor. But whatever the matter was, OG finished that second. They had a good number of finishes. They had a good, position point. Let's see, are they going to overtake E Arena, or will they still be reigning at the third position?
Indeed, that's a big question at this point, but let's see what the answer is all about for now. Because the leaderboard is something I'm actually quite stoked and excited to see. And if the leaderboard comes in quite early, that would be a great insight for us, and we will be able to talk on that particular perspective as well. But for now, one thing that is actually going to run in my mind as well is going to be the third map. That is going to be Kalahari, the map of Red Desert, the map where things change quite harshly. And let's see what happens in that particular region as well, because you get the grappling hook guns. And don't you think so, Imgod, that if that guy from WEBROS would have been able to use the grappling hook gun in this particular matchup, he would have been easily crossing out from that bridge and eventually coming with some good shots, and Bhagwan would have been
For
wiped out
sure.
quite early. But this is not the meta that Purgatory is going to give you. Every map is actually going to give you another kind of meta, and that's what Kalahari is going to bring for these guys. So looking forward to see what happens. OG, I believe their drop location is, if I'm not wrong, I'm able to recall it, the refinery region where they love to drop in the particular map of Kalahari, and very close to them in the same region in the plains. In the last 3 days, we saw a huge contestment between two teams, OG Elite and Vibros. And what did we see is in the previous match? OG Elite and Vibros in the last fight. So it can be a very great initiator for the next match. But if OG wants to maintain their legacy, maintain their consistency, OG has to figure out a way, maybe to push back Vibros from that particular drop location, or they should completely change the drop location. But it's a little bit too late because this is the grand finals. Changing out the strategies can be very harmful for your team, to be precise, and your meta, your motivation could be actually going down. But yeah, one thing I'm pretty much keen on is looking on the leaderboard, because this kind of performance will be able to jump up, or should I say, bump up the position of OG Elite possibly. But looking forward to see what happens at the end of the day in the leaderboard as well.
Well, if we talk about Kalahari, as you said, Kalahari is going to the next match, and for the first time today, Kalahari is going to be, presented in front of us. And Kalahari is a map where, Raider, you need those high terrain advantages in order to get that upper hand over your enemies, because that's a region where if you have a high terrain, you have a, scouting area of pretty far, and if you have the perfect snipers like Dew does, like Pahadi does, then you might be able to get a few great kills. But if we talk about yesterday's scenario in Purgatory, Dew had the record of setting longest finish of 522 meters
Oh
with the
man,
snipers, which means he was totally wrecking things up for yesterday,
definitely.
and he even got 10 solo finishes. Now that's the kind of performance that I'm expecting from Nigma Galaxy's end in today's Kalahari as well,
Yep.
because they know their position in the higher terrains. They know how to place themselves in the higher terrain. And if we talk about E Arena had survived with two men only, and they still managed to get the booyah in Kalahari,
Mm.
which means they know the in and out of Kalahari pretty well, and they might be the ones that would reign their championship again, reign their booyah again in Kalahari.
Well, indeed, it's quite possible that Nimai Lacey is going to bring back the glory, and eventually, maybe they can get the booyah for the day. And the way they were able to wrap up yesterday's day was absolutely amazing. But let's see what happens today and how far they are actually going to push themselves. Because if we talk about specifically the teams which are at the table topper list, they are getting shattered. Nimai Galaxy went out quite early, and I believe it was Team OG only who was able to pick on them. And apart from that, E Arena also went out quite early as per the leaderboard, as per the live standings that we are getting in the matches. Those plaques of the eliminations were actually coming up. Two side gamers, TSG Army, the fan favorite team, is also getting shattered quite early. The underdog teams are actually getting shattered, beat OPERAX or Tiger Wong. For now, I believe OPERAX and Tiger Wong in the second match in the Purgatory were able to survive in
Hmm.
the fourth or fifth circle, but after that, the things were not that favorable for the team. And this is what is actually happening to everybody at this point. But the teams which are able to be consistent are the one which is going to go home smiling. And the break between the yesterday's day and today's matchup was absolutely important for these giants to be precise, the 12 teams which are fighting. I believe that was the moment where they should have made some new strategies, or learned what they did in the previous matchup as wrong callouts. And I believe OG is pretty much on point on that particular perspective because they were able to fetch out the right strategies. But for now, Nigma Galaxy is stuck at 158 points and E Arena 145 points. But look at the gap that has been narrowed from Team OG Elite's corner, 129 from their corner. I believe in the last matchup they had 115. So in this match, only 14 points from the corner. Well, this is not that good because OG Elite should have secured a little bit more kill points. But then again, they were able to secure the position points. That was 9 if I'm not wrong. So that's amazing. Apart from that, SES ALFAINK 91 points. I'm still a little bit more sad to see SES ALFAINK using those pets and getting a penalty of 10 points out of their hands. If those 10 points would have not been snatched and the penalty would have been not there, 101 points is what they will be getting in their favor. But now all said and done, it's 91 points in their favor. Team World of Battle having 90 points, pretty close to SES ALFAINK. But when it comes to the gap between OG Elite and Team World of Battle, there is a gap which is pretty much similar to the gap between Nigma Galaxy and OG Elite for now.
Well, actually, that is pretty true. And if we talk about the gaps that these teams have, we can see that the gap gets narrowed as we come down the table. We can see that the World of Battle, my bad, is at 90 points for now. OPERAX is at 86. The MAFIAS at 82. WEBROS, the ones that were at the table bottom, have jumped up with a booyah to the 8th position with a total of 75 points for now. TSG Army with 67. DRANIX with 67, Delta X with 56, and Tiger Wong being the last ones with 55 points only.
Right. Definitely, the impact is going to come in, and I'm actually quite stoked to see what kind of impact is going to be there in the leaderboard. But for now, the leaderboard showcases us that it's still Nigma Galaxy which is going to maybe smile for a little bit longer period of time. But eventually, if this match goes out of the hands of this particular team, and if E Arena or maybe OG Elite is going to be as consistent as they were in the previous days, and for Team OG Elite, their momentum is looking strong. But if they get shattered in the earlier fight, because as I was talking about previously, that Kalahari is the map where WEBROS love to contest the team known as OG Elite in the refinery region. If that happens, if the motivation or should I say momentum changes are there, things won't be that fruitful for the team known as OG Elite. But now at 1:15 p.m., we are actually going to push in the Kalahari region. Old Hampuri is actually going to be the four fights. And what is it happening? Team Mafia is already about to go down. It seems like that.
Well, if we notice the kill feed well, Team Orangutan has already been eliminated. And that is not a good scenario for the team right now. If Team Orangutan has got eliminated so early, even before the match could start properly, then it means that the start was not good at all and they might get jumped up by a few teams that are trailing behind them. Might be that the gap between, E Arena and Orangutan might increase. But for now, if we talk about the World of Battle, the World of Battle is playing pretty well. One finishes, but one casualty as well. Shanti, if we talk about Shanti is using the inhalers to regain that EP so that he can, consecutively gain the HP. But he was hunted down pretty well. Itachi on the other hand can be seen. Sasuke Bhai is already dead. Itachi is also taken down. Now WOB is wrecking themselves apart.
I mean, what is happening in Kalahari? This kind of chaos in the grand finals, I was not expecting. I was expecting a very strategic fight, or should I say a fight where the peoples were actually going to plan their fights and eventually go for the blows. But Insane also gets taken down. With that, Nigma Galaxy is going to completely shut down another beautiful team. That's going to be Team World of Battle. I believe close to 3 or 4 squads have already been wiped out. Look at the number of players that we have in this particular matchup. 26. That's what we were having after the 10 minutes of game have been passed in the previous 2 matches. But OG Elite getting eliminated that early, that's another big loss for that particular team. And eventually our predictions, our cars, or whatever you want to call it out, was pretty much right that yes, they were actually contested in the refinery region and WEBROS were able to capsize on that. I mean, after everything all said and done, it will actually happen. WEBROS was able to pretty much snap on you in the previous match, and from the past few days of the plains, you saw that WEBROS was jumping in the refinery region. And for now, I believe they will be pretty much ready with these strategies. They will be pretty much ready with the blueprint that where team OG is going to jump in the refinery region, and they also dropped in over there and they gathered the guns and they were able to completely dominate, completely blow you out of the proportion. We were still stuck on the plane feed, if I'm not wrong, where I was witnessing the map and talking about where the flight paths and coming in. And at that same instant moment, what happened? The plaque for OG getting eliminated came in. That's a sad side, to be honest. But now all said and done, WEBROS is not going to stop because from WEBROS corner, another knockout comes in. But OPX is also going to wind them up. They're also trying their level best to take up a fight. And team TSG Army, should I say, two side gamers are in the Mammoth region. They are trying to loot it up. One good guy, Exit Raj, have already been taken down. SES ALFAINK on the other corner also wants to push forward. And after the recall of the two guys from Team NIGMA Galaxy, now we are having 28 players in the game.
Well, exactly. And this is not the kind of fast paced action that we were, wanting to witness so early. Because once the players get eliminated so early, the area becomes more in comparison to, the players, the number of players compared to the area left becomes great. And if we talk about Dranix is the last player, Ambot has spotted a player there. He's going to cook a grenade. Is the grenade going to be helpful for him? Not at all. The glue wall was deployed on point and the inhalers are being used. Well, for now, if we talk about the players I have already dropped in for the fight, 1v2 would have come in, but that grenade splashed Dranix out of the game. And with this, OPERAX getting one more finishes in their squad.
Another glorious momentum, full fight at this point. So it seems quite lovely at this moment the way this whole situation is going on. 32 players are surviving. One elimination is already there from the guys. But look at that. The parachutes are telling OPERAX that yes, we are actually going to get a lot more finishes that we wanted to go with. And now at this point the finishes might actually come in. But let's see, is it going to be that easy for Team OPERAX to build up the finishes? Yes, it is. Echo managed to eliminate Delta X's Bishop. With that, another set of fighters going to go in, and look at the usage of grappling hook gun. They are completely going to close in on the enemy, and with that closing in scenario, they can easily pump up the aggression. Some nades are there from the corner. I believe they can easily go for it. And yeah, the nades and the glue wall melter is also going to be there so that they can melt out the glue walls. But another set of double kill comes in. Oh, what a beautiful takedown. That was amazing. Although OPERAX is also not looking that good. But then again, they are decent enough that they are surviving. But now Yogi and Echo has to formulate a strategy that they want to fall back, that they want to be completely away from the situation. If they are stuck here, things won't be that fruitful for them. Woodpecker shots are going on. Another beautiful knockout. Wow. This is lovely. Denzo Shin, WEBROS, and I believe Echo. Everybody is there right now. Delta X, WEBROS, and OPERAX. These are the three teams which are stuck in the same loop and they're getting taken down every now and then. Look at that. The eliminations is looking quite well. With that, OPERAX is coming up with a banger. Look at that. Echo. 5 finishes from the start of this fight. He is just not going to stop. And Refinery is the region where the fights are coming up. After the eliminations of OG, this particular region is completely being dominated by Team OPERAX.
Well, actually, WEBROS were the ones that eliminated OG and that had planned to, get further into the game. But OPERAX shut their plan down pretty early. And right now, we can see OPERAX on a run. They are already getting a lot of finishes for themselves. But if we talk about WEBROS got eliminated pretty soon, but they had 10 finishes for themselves, which means they must have gained some advantage over the other table toppers. They might have got some advancement in the position points. But if we talk about DX right now can be seen breaking out the glue walls to spot the enemies, because once you spot the enemies out, you might get a upper hand over them. But if we talk about the number of players DX has, it is only 2. And if you try to rush in with only 2 players, you might face some adverse situations.
Well, indeed, that could be the possibility. But for now, it seems like that yes, the aggression is working out quite well. Team Tiger Wong is trying to survive. They must 05 is actually having the upper edge. But we all know at this point, having the upper edge is not going to be that advantageous because anybody can use that grappling hook gun and come up to your same advantageous area and eventually take you down. But the guns that these guys are actually using is looking quite well. But look at that. Yes, the grappling hook gun was used up and it is actually going to come up as a very decent knockout that is going to be there. Dimas gets taken down. He's completely going to get finished off because the fall damage is there. Apart from that, the zone damage is also going to be there. Nobody is going to stop this particular guy. But NIGMA Galaxy is also looking decent. They're also trying to take up a fight. And OPERAX is about to go down. Seems like that. The last man standing from Team OPERAX could be taken down. Yogi and yes, Madan was also taken down. So after doing everything that was possible in their courtyard, OPERAX was unable to fall back, and with that, another beautiful elimination came in. And Team NIGMA Galaxy is going to be a little bit more on the happier side because they were able to eliminate Team World of Battle, and now it's OPERAX on the crosshairs, and they were able to eliminate them as well. So seems like that this could be the one match where Team NIGMA Galaxy is going to tabletop or maybe get the chance in their favor. But there are quite a few teams which are going to contest them, be it Team MAFIAS or SES ALFAINK is also surviving, so that is another big team that can easily counter them. I'm not going to talk this kind of situation for Team Two Side Gamers because they are still struggling to just survive, leave aside the aggression. So it seems like that at this point this survival is going to be a little bit more questionable. But yeah, Team Mafias and SES ALFAINK, these are the two teams which can completely shut down Nigma Galaxy.
Well, actually, Dew gets deadly with the snipers,
Hmm.
So Dew has already got the sniper, and if we talk about the teams that are, having the dream of shutting down Nigma Galaxy, must take the fights in close range. Because if
Right.
they try to rush in the open, rush in from a longer range, they might get knocked on and finished off instantly by Dew's, a sniper rifle. But if we talk about Team Mafias can be seen as the team with the highest number of manpower right now and also a good number of finishes. Will they be able to maintain it, or will they be again, deleted from the game? Because as we know, Delete loves to delete opponents. But now, for now, since the past two matches, we have been seeing that Delete gets himself deleted pretty early. Now, Team Mafia playing well, going well. I'm just hoping for them that they have already gotten a good edge of the zone. With the use of grappling hook gun, they are getting good, hard covers, hard advantages, and also the terrain advantages, which might help them knocking out the enemies and confirming their finishes as well.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. That the finishers are going to be there or not. But Killer, as we saw in the previous matchup, Killer was absolutely amazing in the Purgatory region. Although he was pretty much circumcised from the back end of WEBROS, and on the front corner it was Team OG, if I'm not wrong. So he was taken down, but then again he was able to dish out the lot of damage that was required. But for now, let's see what happens to him. And is it going to be a situation where he's going to be back in the game or not? That is the biggest question I want to get an answer for. But Team Tiger of Wong is actually another beautiful team which is still struggling. 5 finishes there from their corner, but they are struggling to survive. They are struggling to live up to their charm. But what is there? OPERAX is actually back with the highest manpower. That's amazing. 9 frags and they are actually back in the game, which is quite amazing. But seems like that another knockout comes in. It was Echo who has been taken down, but from the other corner, Mafia managed to take one down, and that is going to be SES ALFAINK. Seems like that SES ALFAINK is under a lot of trouble, and another knockout gets followed up.
Well, to be honest, Team Mafia has gained that height advantage, but for now they are outside the zone. They might have to move forward into the zone, but they don't have any tension as they have the grappling hook gun. They might get inside the zone anytime soon. And also, if we talk about Team Mafia right now, they are on full manpower and they are totally confident for the situation right now. Beautiful knockout coming out from Mafia's edge, and with this, Team Tiger Wong gets down even more. And one more knockout. What a beautiful knockout from Team Mafia. SES is getting in trouble again. But DX, SES, and Tiger Wong, these three teams are being targeted by Mafia right now. Mafia is on 5 kills. Pentakill has been secured by Mafia for the moment.
Well, they are not going to stop anytime soon. They're completely trying to dominate, and Team Mafias is also actually at the back foot because Killer is not back in the game. But now he has actually pretty much revived. Delta X on the other corner gets eliminated. 6 eliminations coming from Mafia's corner. He's going to contest the guys from Team Nigma Galaxy, which are actually having the MVP advantage, but shots are there. Yes, the exchange of blows are actually going to be there. Mafia gets countered quite a bit. Mafia was way too close in the particular fight up, and look at that, Mafia being eliminated. It's going to be a setback for Team Mafia's member like Mafia Bala is actually going to completely bail out from the situation, maybe go for the recalls. And the recall is going to be there, then I guess the fruitful approach will be that much easy for them. Killer on the back foot is also going to get dominated, and the team which is going to be there is going to be Nigma Galaxy. Nobody is going to stop Nigma Galaxy at this point. Mafia Bala very low on his HP, goes in with the pants. He's trying to just hook up the air, but it's not going to be that easy. He's going to repatch himself so that the zone damage won't be that maximized on him. But he's going to get shattered from multiple corners, so that's the one thing I'm actually pretty much skeptical about. But having the grappling hook gun can easily help him to travel from one location to another quite easily. But is it going to be that easy? I believe some reconnection issues could be coming up from these particular teams, and the ping could be actually at the worst stage. But yes, excited to see what happens in the next stages. Technical difficulties are the part and parcel of a game, but then again, only 5 or 6 teams are surviving. Give your picks, guys. Which is the team who is going to get out the particular matchup in the favor?
Well, to be honest, if I had to go, predict, I would predict Nigma Galaxy as they, played the first two matches in a jiffy. But right now, they are totally on it. They are totally on the strategies. They are totally on the toes to go on finishing the teams. But if we talk about SES ALFAINK, ALFAINK is also on a, run to gain their position back as they had 2 booyahs yesterday, so they had a pretty good position in the upper half of the table. But right now they can be seen at the bottom half, which is not satisfiable for them, so they might need to get up. But if we talk about Nigma Galaxy, the team with presently the highest number of finishes and the highest manpower right now, can be seen at a good stance. But if we talk about TSG, TSG is also in the competition right now. Surprised that TSG has not been eliminated yet, which means that they have worked on the statistics and they might be seen getting some good points in this game.
Indeed, it is actually going to be quite important to see how far they are going to stretch out their glory. But now, if we talk about Team Tiger Wong, well, 5 finishes from the corner, that's good enough. SES ALFAINK is there. Enigma Galaxy, 11 finishes. They're completely going to just close quarter, close the whole situation which was there of comeback coming from here in esports and some other team. But another shot comes in, another beautiful knockout. But look at that from the left side, and the player is there. Oh, what a set of knockouts! That's amazing team. PSG Army is going to get shattered quite a bit. Seems like that their 3 members have been taken down. But who is the last man standing of this team? I want to know that. But he's actually going to be on the back foot. But the kills coming from Team Tiger Wong is looking quite well. He's exceptionally well in terms of the meta that he's actually trying to push for. And the guns that he's got is going to be Space 12. And along with that, the another assault rifle is there in the backpack. I'm unable to recall its name. But Faker on the other corner is actually getting quite a bit of damage. But he's actually going to just maybe repatch his EPs and the other perspectives that is required. But Nigma Galaxy on the other corner, even after having the full manpower, they are on the edges of the zone. Although going in the zone is not going to be that big of a deal because you have got the grappling hook guns, you have got the cover of your 4 manpower. But Hugod gets taken down. A big loss could be coming up. And Stop also gets countered. That's interesting to see. Caramel and Dew are the 2 men standing. But no, the revival is going to be there. And with the glue wall appointment, there is nobody who's going to stab them. But yeah, the revival is done. SES ALFAINK is now also getting countered from Dew's corner.
Well, actually, Enigma Galaxy's stop is not at all stopping. He's trying to get on that aggressive stance. But will he be able to do that? Yes, he has! Enigma Galaxy coming back in the third game, getting that booyah again, and telling each and everyone in the lobby why they belong on the tabletop. Near about they have got 24 points from this match, and this 24 points would add up to their lead as Orangutan and E Arena were eliminated pretty early in this game.
Yeah. All said and done, the job is done. Nigma Galaxy is back in the forte. Although they were able to wrap up yesterday's day, but seems like that they are back in the action with the third match for the day. And the first cycle of the maps being repeated is already over for day number 2. And with that, again, the next match is going to be Bermuda. Is it going to be an easy one for Nigma Galaxy, or Nigma Galaxy is once again going to get shattered? But seems like that Kalahari is the map Nigma Galaxy loves to perform in. And yesterday they were able to perform in the Alpine region. So looking forward to see what happens in the Alpine, which will be the 7th match for the day. But in order to see that, we have to witness 4th, 5th and 6th match, which is pretty much going to be here back to back anytime soon. The matches are going to start. But before that, we'll get to see what kind of jump Nigma Galaxy is able to have in the leaderboard, because they were having close to 10 or 15 finishes, and apart from that 12 from the position points. They already had a score of 158 points, and while adding these points that they are actually going to get in this particular matchup in the third match for the day number 2, I believe things will be a little bit more comfortable for them. They will easily be able to cross over 180 points, and if that is going to be the case, E Arena and both the teams known as OG Elite are going to be a little bit on the worrying side, because the gap was there, but eventually that gap was pretty much closed. 145 points from E Arena Esports was there in the previous leaderboard. I don't know how many points they were able to get out in this particular matchup, because I didn't saw them surviving in the last few circles. So that means they were eliminated quite early, and maximum amount of points that they were able to get out was 5. So 150 points, close to 150 points from the corner, but there will be still a gap of more than 30 points, or close to it, to be honest, between Nigma Galaxy and the team E Arena Esports, and we already saw that there is a gap of more than 30 points between E Arena and OG Elite. So, in order for OG Elite to compete or maybe come back to the #1 position, what they have to get is get 3 booyahs back and forth with some good kills. Then only they will be able to counter the team known as Nigma Galaxy. And Nigma Galaxy, if they are going to get eliminated in 3 consecutive matches quite early, and teams like that, OG Elite, or should I say WEBROS, or some other teams like E Arena Esports will be able to get the points at that same consecutive match, then only there is a possibility where Team Nigma Galaxy is going to go down and maybe go in the second or third position. But seems like that at this point, Nigma Galaxy is pretty much firm of gaining as many as points that's required, and then go forward for the leaderboard.
Well, for sure. Right now, if we talk about Enigma Galaxy, has gained of around 182 points, if I talk roughly about it. And as you said,
Hmm.
that E Arena might have got a total of 150 points, which means the 32 points lead is something that Enigma Galaxy prevails above, E Arena Esports. But for now, if we talk about, we still have 4 more matches left.
Right.
Let's see what is going to come up in these 4 matches. Well. The first two matches were more of a warm up for Nigma Galaxy. They, tried to judge, they tried to learn the ways of team, how they are going to perform today. They got
Correct.
the total, overlook over the game, and then out of the total 10 matches, they only got two booyahs, but they are still leading with a very high margin, which shows why this team belongs to the grand finals and why this team belongs to the tabletop.
Indeed, their performance is something everybody is vowing for, and eventually Nigma Galaxy have for sure made a lot of fans in this particular Championship
For
Asia
sure.
Invitational Season 2 to be precise. A lot of people which were supporting the Indian teams now are supporting the Thailand team, which is known as Nigma Galaxy, because at the end of the day, we are not going to contest in the basis of the regions that these guys are representing. But then again, this is the Free Fire Max Arena. And in Free Fire, there is no question that Nigma Galaxy is one of the team which you have to fear for. Every single match which is there, pretty much there, I believe we are just questioning what Nigma Galaxy can do, or if this happens, then Nigma Galaxy will be going down. We are not saying that Nigma Galaxy will be able to chase that score, because Nigma Galaxy is the team which is setting up the score, and all the other remaining 11 teams are trying to chase that score. Because in the plains as well, they had the score of more than 350 points, and nobody was even close to 300 points. So that is the kind of domination that was being shown in the plains stage. And now at this point in the grand final, it seems like that again the meta is going to just, let's say, get repeated, because Nigma Galaxy is once again getting closer to the 200 point marker, and nobody is even close to 150 or 180 pointers at this moment. Just as Nigma Galaxy is going to have one more booyah and one more good match for Team Nigma Galaxy, they can easily bump themselves to the double century marker. And at that point, touching them is not going to be the question everybody is going to ask. We are going to ask that who is going to get the second position, because that first position is pretty much going to be a little bit more clear. Although we do have a lot of matches at this point, I believe 4 matches for this day and 7 for tomorrow. So that means 11 more matches to go. But then again, the journey is not going to be that easy, because Nigma Galaxy is going to become the biggest hurdle of every single team which wants to get the booyah.
Well, actually, and if we talk about Nigma Galaxy for now, they have got a total of 182 points in the last 10 matches, which takes us to an average of around 18 points per match, 18.2 points per match. Now, this is a very big margin when it comes to the grand finals, where one of the best teams, I mean 12 of the best teams of whole Asian region, come together to play against each other. And there, if you score a total of 18.2 points of an average of per match, then it's quite crazy. It shows how hard the team has worked, how hard the team has sacrificed, how much the team has, gone through to come to this stage, that they are proving themselves on this stage, that they are one of the best teams that belong to the Asian region, and they're obviously making the Asia proud.
Meanwhile, talking about the live chat, I'm looking at the live chat at this point. People are asking that don't speak in English and stuff like that. Guys, remember, this is the English stream. As you can see that the title, first of all, on the title, the first letter that is written, the first word that is written is English, and after that it's Asia Lidoma Invitation Season 2 and blah 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 at this point. So if you want to see us in Hindi, the other casters are there which are actually casting the whole tournament in Hindi, and that particular tournament has been shifted on Loco, if I'm not wrong, after the third match or in the third match. In between that perspective, we shift on Loco because that is our broadcasting partner. So go ahead in the Loco, and I believe you can easily just navigate to the Lidoma Asia page, or our stream is actually going to be there. You can just tap on it and eventually witness what is going to happen, because FOZYAJAY and another caster is actually there to represent the Lidoma Asia Invitational Season 2 for you guys. And if you are actually trying to just witness us on YouTube, you have to remain on the YouTube channel, and the English stream is going to be the one stream that you would actually join. But for now, let's see what the overall standings of the grand finals day number 2 is going to tell us. At this point, you can see that Nigma Galaxy is having 184 points, and just in terms of eliminations, they have surpassed every other team. 109 points is there from the eliminations coming from Nigma Galaxy's corner. I mean, what more can you ask from this team? I mean, we can ask one more thing, that is going to be the consistency. So let's see, is it going to be possible for Nigma Galaxy to be consistent? But Arena Esports, after getting 3 booyahs in the first day, they are empty-handed. Till now, 146 points, that's what they have attained. I believe close to 15 or 20 points altogether in the 3 matches. But on the back end, if we talk about OG Elite, 129 points from the corner, SES ALFAINK 107, OPERAX Esports 100 points, the MAFIAS 97 points, Team World Battle Esports 93 points, And WEBROS is having 88 points, TSG Army 80 points, DRANIX Esports 71 points. Same goes for Tiger Wong. Although Tiger Wong is a little bit on the shaky corner when it comes to the particular positioning point. And yeah, as you all know, the Battle Royale game, Free Fire Max, is a survival based gameplay. So that is the reason where you have the highest amount of position points. Whenever the due is there, whenever the tie is going to be there, if a specified team is going to have the higher amount of position points, that team is going to be on the prior position in the leaderboard, and that's what happened to DRANIX Esports. Delta X Esports 63 points, and that is what is going to happen. Go ahead on the Loco if you want to enjoy the whole tournament in Hindi. First three matches, I believe, first 3 or 4 matches are actually going to be streamed on YT. After that, our production teams, just should I say, converts the stream on Loco, so you can actually go ahead and witness on Loco. But now Bermuda is once again going to show its presence, and it's Team OG which we are witnessing at this point. And the hopes are there that OG is not going to get eliminated as soon as they were eliminated in the previous fight. Lock Tower is going to be the region, seems like that, where the fights might actually come in. But let's see how this start is going to help them.
Well, just look at the split they are in right now. Like, one person is at Bhima Shakti Strip, one person can be seen at Katlistiva, one person near the, the lower regions of Peak, and one at Clock Tower. Just look at this split, Raider. These 4 players know their places, these 4 players know where and how to play. And I'm pretty sure of it that this 500-meter distance between them is going to create a lot of ruckus if any team tries to interfere, as there will be cornering out of players from OG. The UAV has been already deployed, the zone can already be seen, and the safe zone will start shrinking within a minute, which means that the teams have to get towards the safer region, towards they have to come towards each other. But on the other hand, we talk about Killer is already up. He has given up a knock. And if we talk about Team Mafia, Mafia has already lost 2 players. Now this means the Team Mafia is already on the back foot.
Yeah, indeed, man. The positioning is not looking that good. The players are getting eliminated. And meanwhile, Joban Nagpal, you're most welcome to watch us on an English platform if you want to. But eventually, if you're trying to figure out where the Hindi stream is going on, you can actually go ahead on Loco, type on Lidoma Asia, and then you'll get to see the stream. But for now, Killer and Delete are the 2 members standing. I believe Killer is already trying to take up a fight, and Delete, if I talk about that guy, he's actually going to go ahead and recall his teammates, and that could be the perspective. And look at that, the elimination gets followed up. It's DRANIX's Pew who was able to put them down, but now Delete is almost on the way of recalling his every single member back in the game. And if it is actually going to happen, that would be amazing. But on the other corner, OPERAX once again starts off quite early. They're trying to get as many S frags as possible, and yes, they are trying their levels to do so. But which team are they fighting in front of is going to be NIGMA Galaxy. So that could be a very risky choice of fight, that you are fighting with NIGMA Galaxy, the team which is at the tabletop, the team which is quite aggressive, which has shown that even in the last circles we are actually the aggressive one. DRANIX on the other corner also gets eliminated, so again a big loss, to be honest. And OPX, if I talk about this team, they were able to get to 1 out of the situation. I believe NIGMA Galaxy's member are also getting countered, but the rest remaining member are going to completely focus on the recall, so that the recall is done, the player is back in the game, and that is actually going to be quite lovely for the teams. But looking forward to see what is actually going to happen. OPX, Yogi, Madan, Insane, Echo. These are the 4 members which are surviving for now. Shots are something I'm actually keen on watching, but M10 is actually going to be in the back, but I believe the other gun could be SLR or some other gun. Let's see what happens. For now, OPERAX is trying to just figure out that how far their loots are actually going to get extended, because somebody's in Sentosa, the other members are lurking in the peak region. So yes, they are pretty much scattered, and this approach can help them a lot. But meanwhile, it can be a very disheartening approach as well. If you get shattered, there is nobody to give you backup. But then again, in Free Fire, you get the shop tokens, you get the recall, you get the second chances, to be honest. So yes, you can actually go for the recall as well.
Well, to be honest, if we talk about OPERAX for now, OPERAX, Echo was on a rampage last match, and I would want to see the rampage again. And if we talk about right now, DRANIX has already been eliminated, and once DRANIX has been eliminated, only 11 teams remain, and these 11 teams remaining have to compete against each other. They have to cross the bridge right now if we talk about OPERAX, and they are in a 2v2 split, but this 2v2 split is not going to be very helpful when a whole team tries to push upon OPERAX. Then any of the duo might get eliminated pretty early. But if we talk about DX is right now at a comfortable spot. They are looting pretty well, and the 4 players are together, which means they might find out a way out of the blue zone, and they might get inside the zone as well pretty early. But if we talk about other teams as well, there are eliminations going on, there are fights going on, and the teams are being scattered all over the map. But they are using the launch pads, the hoverboards. Somehow they have planned their way inside the zone, and this way they might get an advantage over the enemies as well. Diamond has been knocked out and finished as well.
Well, the finishes are actually going to be the byproduct of this particular fight. And look at that, another beautiful takedown. E Arena Esports is still on a very bleaker corner. August gets taken down. I believe there are some changes in the roster, and that changes are actually trying to just create the ruckus. So, looking forward to see what happens. Dawan is there. Delta X is looking good. Bishop is there. Foxen is going to be there. But they're still trying to figure out where the rest remaining players from Team E Arena Esports is actually going to be there. Lone Boy, thanks for that lovely support, man. And on the back foot, if we talk about Foxen, looking good, looking decent. And the area where they are actually close to is going to be the graveyard region, and pretty much close to it is going to be the Katolitseva. But the giant launch pad has been used up, and they are completely trying to go in the territories where the blue drop, or should I say the blue circle is created, where the loots is actually going to be got maximized, and they're trying to loot as many as guns as possible, and meanwhile also get the shop token so that they can bring back his teammate. But if we talk about the fights, Down 25 is stuck in a loop, and there is a fight over there. If we talk about the battle, they are looking good, decent, but Tiger Wong also gets enacted. It's Zach's ASCO has been taken down, but the exchange of loots, exchange of knockouts are coming from Faker's corner. Oh, another set of amazing knockout. That's amazing. Faker was able to get 2 knockouts, but seems like that his knockouts are not going to pay the debt, because the revivals are also going to be a little bit more on the closer corner for the enemy.
Well, while you were carrying on, I was looking at the chat, and the chat is supporting us pretty well. Thank you so much for this. This boosts us, and this gives us a good, get going to go ahead. But right now, if we talk about the situations, Tiger Wong is countering the shots, countering the attacks pretty well. They are planting the glue walls pretty well so that they can, defend the situation. But right now, TSG versus TWE can be seen. TSG Mad Max has been knocked out. TWE is totally approaching forward, but TSG somehow managed to clutch out the situation, and Tiger Wong has been eliminated pretty early. A beautiful, 1v5 situation, I would say, was handled by Pawan right now. Mad Max was on the knees, but Pawan somehow managed to get out of the, situation, get his team out of the situation, and they might go for the recall as well if they have the shop tokens enough, or from the tower as well, recall tower as well. But if we talk about the blue zone is approaching very, nearly, and the teams are already targeting them. Pawan can be seen getting damaged. The glue walls are being planted on point, but they are also being broken down. Why is he going outside the zone? I don't know. There might be kind of a strategy that he's planning out. There might be kind of a strategy that is plotting out. TSG can be seen on an aggressive stance in the previous 2 matches, but right now he has been knocked out. Will he be able to get finished? Yes, he has. Mad Max being the last hope for his team. Let's see what is he going to do.
There is already enemy on that bridge, and eventually this approach can be very risky. Mad Max, just don't shoot the enemy. If the shot is going to be there, he's going to be pretty much visible. But look at that on the back foot, on the tree trunk, there is actually an enemy in the close quarter, but it seems like that he is unable to learn where the guy is. But now it can be quite critical. He's just trying to hold his own spot, but he can be spotted. As soon as he gets spotted, he's completely going to go down, and yes, that is going to be the case. Team TSC comes up with a knockout, but finally it's Dawan, if I'm not wrong, who was able to get him out of the equation. Meanwhile, Lone Boy is actually coming up with a question from the live chat. Caster, what do you think? Which team can take down NIGMA Galaxy? Well, my pick is actually going to go for OG Elite. And what about you, Aimcod?
Well, I would go with E Arena, because we know OG Elite has a great potential, but E Arena has been a potential, like we have seen when 2 cats fight, the monkey comes between and takes an advantage. Yeah. That's what E Arena has been focusing on, and that's why they have their contended 2nd position in their hand. But also there's one more question. Is there any chances that an Indian team will win the whole tournament? Well, might be. 1 more day is left, 4 more matches are left. We never know what's going to happen. Let's see, even the underdogs can come up as underdogs. Let's see what is going to happen. But for now, DX, Fox, and can be seen down on the knees. The team is down with only 2 players. Let's see what are they going to do. Revival points will be closed within 30 seconds. Whatever they have to do, they have 30 seconds in hand.
Well, the impact is still coming up. Let's see how far they will be able to build the strategies. Down 125 is actually going to be the last one standing of his team. Completely trying to lose the hope, but he goes in with a beautiful knockout. He has a knockouts are coming up, but seems like that at this point. OG Elite is the one team which is actually getting countered from team Delta X is down 1. But OG Elite, will they be able to bounce back from this situation is the bigger question. Old Bunker is able to gather the finishes. Seems quite reasonable at this point. But Casa, who will get the booyahs? Well, at this point, predicting something is actually going to be a curse, or it could be actually comes up as a Casa curse for these teams.
Exactly.
So we are not going to predict which team is going to be there getting the booyah. Go ahead and predict, guys. Go ahead and tell us what your thoughts are all about. But for now, oh, down 125 finally gets spotted. But the vending machine is going to get used up, and the people and his teammates, to be precise, are going to be back. Only one is going to be back. That is going to be Diamond. But that Diamond, can he shine bright? Or can he be taken down is actually going to be the big question. But look at that, the skateboards are here. No pets can be used, and I believe the mistake that SES ALFAINK yesterday, what they did, they used the pets, and eventually the reason being were the elimination for the team. But can we see Orangutan getting eliminated once again? Yes, it is. Orangutan once again is at a loss. Back to back, two bad matches for them. Orangutan seems like that at this point. E Arena is easily going to capsize and maybe bring back a huge gap between these two teams, because look at that E Arena score. They have secured 5 amazing frags. NIGMA Galaxy have secured 4 frags, but then again their manpower is not there, so they can be countered soon enough. But E Arena is looking good, and if E Arena will be able to capsize on NIGMA Galaxy, that would be lovely. But for Team OG Elite, things are not that favorable, man.
Well, this early elimination was not at all expected from OG Elites, and we were, expecting them to last a bit longer, as the contendership for the third position might have been at stake. But for now, if we talk about WEBROS have been playing pretty brilliantly. What a beautiful knock coming on from the edge. But right now, he's at 19 HP. He must heal pretty soon, and there comes a counter knock. The player Supreme has been knocked out. 2 players are down on the knees. Last 2 players remain. Can Drago be the one saving his team for now? But he's pretty far away. The 2 players that were down have been finished off, and in fact Rohit has also been put down. Right now Drago can be seen as the only hope for the team that is going to take the team towards the final circles. But will he be able to do so? That's the major question right now. The safe zone is being shrinking. Katalistiva is the only area that can be seen inside the zone. That is a major area of the zone. These harsh covers, these smaller harsh covers are going to be the ones that is going to be helpful for Team WEBROS. Let's see how are they going to manage the whole situation for themselves. But as we talked about E Arena has got 11 finishes from their end and only 1 casualty, which means they are at a very stronger position right now in compared to all the teams over there. But if we talk about NIGMA Galaxy has got 4 finishes but 3 casualties. Top can be seen down right now. Few God can be seen down right now. Dew might also get eliminated pretty early. But if we talk about the Dominator, EA Limit has crossed all the limits, and he's not going to limit himself. Getting 7 kills and getting the title of Dominator right now from E Arena is a pretty great thing for him.
Well, indeed. Now questioning the answer of Mr. Hitman are why SES ALFAINK have minus 10 points in front of them. The reason being that they were using pets in the last match, in the last day, to be precise. I was not present, but eventually, yes, that's what the management told me, that they were using pets, and pets are not allowed in this particular matchup, and that is why as a penalty, minus 10 points is going to be there for them, and that's the thing that I wanted to tell you. But now let's move on to the match. Team NIGMA Galaxy is also on the very back corner, but if we talk about SES ALFAINK, they're trying to fight back, they're trying to build the synergy and maybe bring back the glory for the team, because from past few matches they are unable to survive the way we wanted to see them survive. But the shots are coming up, and definitely the impact is there, and that's EA48 who has been taken down. That means E Arena is at a question right now. Let's see, is that question going to be deadly, or is it going to be a fruitful one? But another knockout comes in. Okay, that's the same guy who has been knocked out. I believe the revival was there, and after that once again knockout was there. But I believe the mini launch pad has been used up. With that, they are going to move forward. Diamond on the other corner also gets finished off. August also gets taken down. Seems like that Delta X is also going to go down, but Team SES ALFAINK is looking decent. They have got the whole, should I say, carnageous momentum at this point. They are able to secure as many S-points as possible. But look at the shop tokens that are here in this particular area to loot in. E Arena finally gets eliminated. 9 players are surviving, and it's Team SES ALFAINK, Team MAFIAS, and OPERAX. Now give us the picks, guys. Which team do you think is going to survive? Is it going to be Team Mafia? Is it going to be OPX? Well, OPX for them, the single man which is standing in the lobby, it's not going to be an easy survival, to be precise. But yeah, we have seen OG Elite's Bhagwan doing the same, where he was the last man standing, but he was able to secure the 2nd position. So is it going to be that factor coming up in a play, or Team Mafia and SES ALFAINK will actually come up with a competing effort and maybe actually just take them down? Vending machines are there, so they can actually bring back the teams as well if the shop tokens are going to be there. But Elite decides that he's going to push forward, and that was a very harsh but wrong call.
Well, delete loves to delete teams, but he gets deleted pretty early. This is the phrase that I've been using since yesterday, and I am quite addicted to this phrase for now. But if we talk about the other team members, will they be able to bring delete back? Well, not for now. The safe zone has been shrinking, and this is the only team that was earlier with four man power and a four finishes strategy. But right now, if we talk about usually the fourth or fifth match is somewhere we see Team Mafias coming back. OPERAX has also been eliminated. Last two teams with a 4v2. Let's see, will SES Alpha Inc. gain their position back, and will Mafia be the ones eliminating SES Alpha Inc.? Well, Mafia has already scored one more position, one more kill over them. Let's see what is going to happen in the future.
Well, they have already started to actually implode and eventually get as many points as possible from this particular perspective. But the glue, oh, the lead was absolutely very close.
Wow.
And the damage was there, but eventually the impact was not that decent. Killer, if I talk about that guy, comes up with another beautiful knockout. That seems quite reasonable at this point that the damages are going to be there. But Killer gets taken down. Bara is there, who's going to repatch himself. Mafia Bala on the back foot is also going to be there, but another knockout might actually come up. But once again, Mafia Bala is going to get contested. And with that, the Booyah is going to get in the hands of Team E Arena Esports. I believe the team was absolutely on point, but eventually the Booyah is there in the hands of some other team. Imgod, will you be able to tell us about the insight?
Yeah, for sure. SES Alpha Inc. has made a comeback. Two booyahs for yesterday and one for today makes them up to three booyahs for total. And SES Alpha Inc. has totally come back. They have regained their reign over Bermuda. Because if you see at the stats, Raider, yesterday also, both the booyahs that they had scored were in the Bermuda map only. And today again, in the fourth map, the Bermuda map, they have managed to get the booyah successfully. And this shows that Bermuda is always conquered by SES Alpha Inc.
Well, that's absolutely lovely. SES Alpha Inc. have got one decent map in their favor, and they know how to capsize the Bermuda, and they are able to do it quite beautifully. Be it any other region, be the regions of Clock Tower or some other region where the zones are going to form, but eventually this is the team which is going to bag it out. So it seems quite reasonable, quite lovely at this point that they are able to do so. But looking forward to see what happens in the leaderboard as well. What kind of impact is actually going to get followed up is going to be another big question for me, because Alpha Inc. was looking pretty much on a decent spot. I believe in the top 5 that team was looking. And with this kind of performance, with getting a booyah, their position will for sure jump up. But how far the jump is going to go on, how far their synergy is going to get built in the next upcoming matches is the bigger question, because 3 more matches to be precise are left right now. The next one is going to be Purgatory, then Kalahari will come in, and after that Alpine, a terrain which, just like another beautiful map, I believe the practice is not going to be that much. Even in the classic scenario, people love to perform in Bermuda, or they can actually go for Purgatory, maybe Kalahari. But then again, Alpine is a map nobody loves to actually play. I mean, there are quite a few people who love to play, but eventually in the competitive scenario, we see only these 3 matches getting followed up, the Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. But finally, in the grand finals, an addition of Alpine is obviously going to come as a table turner. And yesterday also it happened, because in the Alpine region, Enigma Galaxy was able to get the beautiful Booyah with the 21 kill points, if I'm not wrong. So that was absolutely amazing. But now moving up ahead, let's see what happens in today's day. 4 matches have been passed. We are pretty much close to the halfway journey, or should I say, we have surpassed the halfway journey for day number 2, and now only, I guess, 10 matches more are to go. And then after the 10 matches, we'll get to know who is the real champion of this Asia Invitational Season 2 presented by Lidoma Asia, to be honest. And definitely, I believe the impact is going to be there. The upsurge of the fights are coming up. Nigma Galaxy is trying their level best to counter, but in this particular matchup, they were shattered. Although they were able to secure quite a few points, it seems like that they will be able to a little bit more close to on the particular marker of 200 pointers. They will be in the 190s corner, and if we talk about Team E Arena Esports, they would be in 160 or 170s corner. 160 could be the more I guess a viable corner for them. Apart from that, if I talk about Team SES Alphaink, they could be crossing easily the 100-pointer marker. And when it comes to OG Elite, expectations were there, but eventually it all went in the vain.
Well, actually, the expectations went in vain, and I had also wanted to see, OG performing this time, because this match was something where if they would come back, they would have not lost the third position. But right now, the third position, the contending for third position is at risk right now, is at stake right now. They might be dethroned by any other team who is reigning right now at the fourth or fifth position,
Right.
because they are not being able to defend their points since the previous 2 games, and this one factor is going to affect them in a very adverse way, because this is the grand finals. This is not somewhere where you have to, get a particular number of points to qualify for the next round. This is the final. This is the grand finale. This is where you have to give all you have in order to, get that prize pool. But will Orangutan be the ones to come back? We still have 10 matches left. You never know what happens.
Definitely, in 10 matches, situations can change because 11 matches have been passed, and eventually, these are the few 10 amazing matches which is actually going to showcase us what kind of journey these guys are actually going to go with. But yeah, actually, we are excited to see what happens. The fans are here, the people are supporting, and eventually, a lot of people are just praying to see what kind of comeback Indian teams are actually going to bring back. And eventually, first two matches of day number two was absolutely the kind of comeback we wanted to see because first one was the
Exactly.
Booyah, and after that, I believe second position came from OG's corner. But after that, another team which should actually come up with a comeback is going to be TSG and Team Mafias as well. These are the two teams which are still getting shattered now and then, and they are actually on a very shaky corner. Remember, guys, let me tell you about the brief. Should I say some in a brief way, in a summarized way about the whole tournament? We had 18 teams which were divided in a group of three, 6 teams each, and of which only 9 qualified. 2 were underdogs teams, and one was the fan favorite. But now, if I talk about the leaderboard, you saw for a very brief time period that the leaderboard was actually there. But let's see what kind of impact that leaderboard is going to bring. I believe there were some technical difficulties, so we are going to once again push on that. But the prize pool, people were asking that what kind of prize pool is there. So let me remind you, $1,000 is at stake. The team which is going to become the champion, apart from all the glory and the bragging rights of being the top contender in the Asian region, they are going to get $500, and the second position $250, third position $150, and the fourth one is going to get them $50. And if I talk about the MVP, the most vital, valuable, whatever you want to tell him, the MVP player of this particular tournament in the grand finals is going to get another set of $50 apart from the prize pool that his team may or may not get. Because although it's not going to be that easy, I mean, the possibilities are there that 70-80% possibilities are there that the team which is going to be the champion in that particular team, the top figure is going to be there. The MVP is going to be there to be precise. But if it is not going to be that, so apart from the prize pool that is going to be there for their respective position, I guess the MVP points is actually going to get added. MVP prize pool is also going to get added onto that. But that would be an individual prize for that individual who is going to secure the
Exactly.
most number of finishes in the particular grand final. So definitely looking forward to it. And if you want a recap on what happened in the planes, it was Dew, if I'm not wrong, who was able to get the highest amount of finishes. But for now, as I said, Nigma Galaxy 192 points from the corner, 113 in elimination, 79 is the position points. E Arena 167 points, and OG Elite are still barely holding on to their third position because look at what SES ALFAINK has done.
Well, actually, and to be honest, right now they are only 3 points away from OG Elite. If OG Elite still manages to, still they are not able to save the situation right now, they would be dethroned. As I said earlier, right now they are only 3 points behind. With 3 booyahs, SES ALFAINK can be seen at a good position right now. They have a space to overcome the, further challenges right now. But if you talk about the gap that the teams have created, it is pretty much far away.
Hmm.
And this gap has to be minimalized as soon as possible. Otherwise, they might be facing very adverse consequences very soon.
Definitely, these impacts are going to be quite important. But let's see what happens in the next match. That is going to be Purgatory, if I'm not wrong. And yes, the Purgatory, the map of three alliances here. We have goal course in the surrounding regions, but eventually at the center, it seems like that Team Mafia has jumped in the Brasilia and the close quarters, where Delity is already out of equation. Mafia is there. Killer is going to be there, and Mafia Bala are the three members of Team Mafia, which is surviving the Mafia to be precise. But let's see how far this Mafia is actually going to pull through, how many more points they will be able to get. But what is that? If I'm not wrong, OPERAX was the one team which was about to go down. The last man standing of the team was surviving. World of Battle on the other corner is also on the very shaky corner. Seems like that from the start of this match, things are not that easy for the teams. But in the blue circle, in the circle where the loots are going to be ample, Team World of Battle is there. Well, they were able to counter the team which was in front of them. Seems like that because Insane is having 2 frags and Sasuke Bhai is at a loss. Seems like that there was a fight. They can easily come up with a recall. But let's see, is it going to be possible for them to bring back the recall? DRANIX aimbot also gets taken down. That means Team DRANIX Esports is in a fight with Team The Mafias.
Well, actually, and the mafias have come in for the loot. The mafias have come in to steal everything that you've got. But will they be able to, get a success in that? Because Purgatory is a map where you have to be very careful about, your surroundings. Because someone can be scouting you from specting you from any angle, and you would not even be aware of that. Right now the team members of Team Mafia are pretty far away, and they have to reach around each other. They landed in the region moat house, where they could get ample amount of loot for themselves, through which they can survive throughout the fight. But right now Mafia can be seen pretty tailing behind around his team, so he has to go towards his team, he has to go near his team, so that they might be in a formation where they can play as a team. But right now if we talk about Team Mafia, was the one that could that could trail up towards the top 3 teams last match. But will they be able to get again into the top 3 teams this match, will be the major question right now.
Looking forward to it, what happens at this moment, because the impact is for sure coming in. Mafia, Insane, and the other members are also trying their level best to just, let's say, gather around the right territories. That is important. But in terms of the live location, as you saw, Lumbermill is actually going to be the region where E-Arena Esports is going to lurk. Crossroads is going to be pretty much occupied by 2 teams. So we have got OPERAX and Team Mafias as well in the close quarters. Brasilia, if I talk about that region, that is going to be in the hands of Team Tiger Wong. And SES ALFAINK, the previous Booyah team, is actually in the Marble Works, where there is nobody to contest them. That's good enough. Forge is actually going to be the region where Team NIGMA Galaxy is going to be there. But there is a fight. Team World Battle is in the close quarters. Where's the Woodpecker shot came in? But now the launchers are being used. Let's see what happens. Shanti, can he actually put up a knock? Can he actually change the blow? It's Team Mafia versus Team World of Battle at this point. And Mafia is here. World of Battle. Shanti is there in the front quarter. And here's the fights are something which is going to prevail a lot of stuff. So let's see what happens, guys. Mafia is going to be in the house or maybe on the edges. He has got the nade in his hand. He can easily cook it up. And yeah, the nade goes in, but the glue wall was returned as an answer of that particular nade.
Well, for sure. Right now, if we talk about the situation, nades are being, exchanged between both the players. Mafia has a good advantage. He knows when and where to throw the nade. He has a good cover. But right now, once he comes in open, once he jumps in open, he is prone to, danger against Shanti. But Shanti is also being attacked. He's using the inhalers to get, his health fulfilled. But right now, if we talk about the opponents have already cornered out TM Mafia right now. But Shanti, he gets knocked down. He's down on all fours. On the other hand, if we talk about Team Mafia, Mafia might get a backup really soon, but will that be expected before Team WOB? Not very soon. Sasuke Bhai can be seen on the run. Itachi can also be seen spotting out enemies, and right now he will be going for the revival. TM Mafia has been down on the knees and will be finished up pretty soon. Double finish for WOB Itachi, and right now Team WOB can be seen at a good position with a good entry inside the zone as well. As Insane has already cleared out the entry, and they might be getting a precise entry inside the zone as well. But they are again being targeted by the enemies, as Team Mafia won't let them slide so easily.
Well, indeed, I believe every other guy who's actually going to be in the circle is obviously going to be your enemy. So if it's easy, if it is actually doable, go ahead with the fights in the initial circles, because then the chances of third parties is not going to be there. Because in the last few circles, you know that if you take a shot on one team, another team out of the blue is actually going to come up and take you down as well. The third parties are something which is going to be the part of the last few circles. So definitely, if you want to take a fight, if you want to take a clear 4v4 or a wipe out a set of team, you can just easily go ahead and eventually take that initial fight after the 5 minutes are actually over, when you have got the right loot. But Insane from the back foot has actually been taken down, completely been finished off. Team World Battle is again on the back foot. Mafia Bala is going to go use the vending machine and bring back his teammates. And I believe, yes, all of the particular guys who have been eliminated are going to be back. Nigma Galaxy on the other corner is going to go and create a rampage on Pahadi. Is it so? If Orangutan Elite is actually going to be in a tussle with the team known as Nigma Galaxy, it can be quite credible. It can be quite critical. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to see what happens when Nigma Galaxy and Team OG Elite are in a fight. But for now, OG Elite is in a pickle, because their only 2 members are surviving, and the last 2 members should actually fall back at that point. Because all said and done, as a Casa, as an audience, yes, of course, we would love to see their aggression. We would love to see that close quarter fight coming up. But then again, if the survival is not going to be there, if they are not going to come back with the full manpower, I believe that fight won't be that easy, and OG Elite will be getting eliminated quite early. So for that reason, I would love to see that the fallback is going to be there from that particular perspective. But for now, if we talk about SES ALFAINK, that is a team along with Nigma Galaxy which is sitting a very comfortable spot with the highest amount of manpower and along with the frags. But SES ALFAINK, 5 frags, that's lovely.
Well, actually, at this pretty early stage, if you manage to get 5 frags right now, you have already been into a, dominating situation for now. Well, SES ALFAINK have already proved their worth in the Bermuda map, but right now it's Super Game. purgatory can be crucial for any team right now, and they have to prove out their worth so that they can not be compelled in only a single map, rather than they would be you know looked up to in other maps as well. But DRANIX meanwhile gets eliminated. DRANIX has been facing a few early eliminations in the last two matches, but if we talk about Team Mafia can be seen all strong on all fours, getting inside the zone. But if we talk about TWOB, down to only two men. TSG, zero finishes and one casualty. A pretty heavy, a pretty expensive situation for them, rising out right now. But if we talk about E Arena can be seen at zero casualties and zero finishes, which means they are at an equal level where they don't have to worry about the aggressive stance or the passive stance. They just have to defend their positions. They have a good position inside the zone and they have to just maintain it out. Right now, if you talk about Nigma Galaxy, they have three finishes, but they are all up on four players. Let's see what are they going to do, what do they have in store for us, and what do they plan to do in the near future.
Well, definitely we have to look into that fact as well. But for now, seems like that emoji is looking good enough. They are surviving. They are having the manpower. They are actually having some decent price in their favor as well, which is lovely. But their biggest competition here, Arena Esports and Team Nigma Galaxy is also there, apart from SES ALFAINK, because now there is a question mark on Team OG Elite because three teams are very close to them. Well, two are pretty much ahead of them. Nigma Galaxy and Arena respectively. SES ALFAINK is very close to them. I guess there was a buffer of only 3 points in the previous leaderboard. So that 3-pointer can easily be chased by Team SES ALFAINK. But for now, if we talk about the takedowns, so World of Battles, or should I say WEBROS to be precise, is actually on the back foot because Poison is going to be the last remaining guy. He's the only hope for his team. The shots are coming up on him and his survival is a little bit on the bleak corner. All he has to do is just survive at this point. Maybe bring back his teammates as well. And if it is not going to be that easy, WEBROS is actually going to be at a very back side to be precise. But for now, yeah, Poison is surviving. He's the last man standing of his team, as I said. And just like him, I believe Arena Esports is also surviving with a single man surviving in that particular status. The deadboard is not yet updated, so whenever the update will come in, we'll get to see what kind of impact is there. And yeah, Arena Esports with a single man standing, seems like that their situation is also going to be a bit more shaky. But if we talk about team WONG, let's see what they are actually trying to focus on. They're trying to implement the shots. They've got the level 3 West helmets, which is good enough and which can easily help them a lot when it comes to the fights. But still trying to figure out what happens with the match number 5 for Purgatory because the things are looking a little bit more passive. As in the initial stages, we saw a lot of clashes coming up, but now the fights are actually at a still. And slowly but surely, when the zone will push forward in this particular region, in the Brasilia fights will ignite slowly but surely.
Well, exactly. The fights will ignite slowly but steadily. And if we talk about, we have a lot of, building regions coming out inside the zone right now, which means that the players have a good advantage of the covers for now. And if we talk about the players getting advantage over kills, the safe zone is right now shrinking and they have to get inside the zone. And the only entry inside the zone is through the open region. And once you get in the open, you might be spotted. And once you get spotted, you might have to, either rule out the enemy or you yourself get ruled out on the way. But right now, if we talk about the situation, we have 30 players seeing alive right now. TSG is right now at a condition where they, might level up the situation, but the fan favorites have to keep their nose up. They can't, put their head down and they can't disappoint each and every audience that had been supporting them since now.
Well, see, I believe every single team, the 12 teams, and eventually the set of players which are there in the lobby in their rosters, everybody wants to outperform. But Team Mafias at this point, well, they are out of equation. Two-side gamers, they're also in a very tough fight. They're in a pickle for now, to be honest. Mad Max and Power 25 are going to be the only two guys which are surviving, and the linemans which were appointed at this place are now going to get busted, and Mad Max and Pawan 25 have to just somehow cross over to the particular play zone, otherwise things won't be that favorable for them because look at the zone damage that they are getting, and there is a knockout. EA, I believe, is actually on the crosshairs of Team TSG, but TSG, if they are in a fight, it won't be a comfortable one, to be honest, because TSG has already lost two good members. Oh, another beautiful nade. That was on point, to be honest, but the damage came in for Jojo, which was not enough to put down the whole team. I mean, the nades should be coming up soon enough. Let's see what kind of impact will be there. 26 people are surviving in this small circle. This shows how far the domination is getting stressed. This shows how far the seriousness of the grand final are now coming up. And Team World of Battle, meanwhile, says goodbye to the fight.
Well, if we talk about the Nigma Galaxy for now, they can be at a stronger position. 7 finishes they have right now, and they are all up on all fours. Let's see what are they going to do. But for now, if we see SES is at a spot where they are already getting the kills. They have the good cover. They have a good edge of the zone, which means they might encounter the enemies that are going to, trail behind from the backward region of the zones that are trying to get inside the zone. But right now, they are going to face heavy challenges in the name of enemies. 27 players remain right now. And look at the size of the zone, the compactness of the zone. The zone is so compact and still 25 players remain, which means that right now the fights are going to be pretty intense. SES Barak trying to chase the enemies, but the enemies are planting glue walls on point, which makes the team to stay on back foot. Meanwhile, we can see TSG Army getting eliminated pretty early. But if we talk about SES Bara can be seen reviving his players, getting up all the four players, but E Arena meanwhile getting eliminated again. 11 kills and dominating the lobby. We can see Nigma Galaxy up front.
Once again, Nigma Galaxy is trying to pop out and gatekeep as many as teams as possible at this moment. Apart from that, if we talk about SES, well, the launchers are being used. They're trying their level best to just counter every single guy who's coming in the front of them. But OPERAX on the other corner gets eliminated. That means another big team out of the equation. That Undergod is unable to secure any kind of points. I believe only one position points, and finishes to be precise is actually going to be there from their counter areas. But the glue wall melter is going to be there. Oh, look at that. The number of glue wall melters are easily going to melt out the glue walls which was present in the close quarter, but now another set of shot goes in, and Bara wants to actually eliminate the perspective, but is it going to be that easy? Not at all, because the damage on Bara is also amplifying by the moment the shots are coming up. So let's see what he can do. He's actually going to repatch himself. He's actually going to use inhalers, but is it going to be an easy approach? Not at all. WEBROS on the other back corner is also going to be on the chaotic angle, but Orangutan also gets eliminated. That means another big team out of the equation which we wanted to get an answer for. But I guess 7 frags and close to 2 or 3 position points, that may actually give them the pump that was required.
Well, might be, but will they be able to, maintain that gap that they had to from SES ALFAINK? Well, I guess they might have, but SES ALFAINK for now has been eliminated. Nigma Galaxy can be seen at a good position, getting a total of 12 kills right now and a 3-man strong squad. They have the biggest opposition right now in the name of WEBROS, which are a full 4-man strong squad right now, but not anymore. WEBROS getting eliminated pretty early. Tiger Wong being the last team that has to face against Nigma Galaxy. Nigma Galaxy, I guess, will be getting the third booyah for them total, but stop has been stopped for the moment. TWOB has been shut down and DU has also been knocked out. Now the situation has come up equally in a 2v2 situation. Will Tiger Wong be able to get their first ever booyah against the reigning champions right now? What do you think, Raider?
Seems like that Team Tiger Wong is actually in a pickle at this point, because their manpower is actually one of those things which is actually a subject. And yeah, the result is here. It's Team Nigma Galaxy which is again going to get the booyah. No questions asked, no answers given. At this point, it's Nigma Galaxy once again getting a beautiful booyah in their favor. And with this booyah, well, they are for sure going to cross over the 200 points marker. Seems like that Nigma Galaxy is pretty much ready and armed up for their performance. In the 24 matches that they played in the play-ins, they were able to cross out 350 points. In the 21 matches that they're playing in the grand finals, seems like that they're also going to once again reach out to the 300 point marker, because we are still left with 9 more matches, to be honest, guys. 9 more matches, not just 1 or 2 matches. 9 more matches are there, and if this kind of performance goes on, well, Nigma Galaxy will be for sure able to touch that kind of marker, because at this point, I believe the scorecard will be telling us that there is close to 215 points coming from Nigma Galaxy's corner, and the team which is actually closest to them is actually going to have a gap of more than 50 or 40 or 50 points. So this kind of gap is a little bit more scary for me when it comes to teams like OG Elite. They're unable to perform the way they are demanded to. TSG, I don't know what is happening to that team. The Mafias, yes, they are getting shattered quite often. Well, they were able to have a booyah, but after that, their performance is just getting deteriorated.
Well, I'm pretty much shocked the way Nigma Galaxy has been dominating the lobby pretty soon. Well, since the previous 11 matches that we have witnessed right now, they have not 11, actually 12. They have shattered the whole lobby. In 12 matches, if you are able to, manage to get 200 points, that means that you have already read the lobby, you already know how to play the matches, you already have got that experience, and that experience is being showcased by Nigma Galaxy. Nigma Galaxy outperforming every standard, crossing out every bar that had been set yesterday. And to be honest, today I think they might be able to cross the 250 points marker as well.
Yeah. It is quite possible, to be honest, that they are easily
Exactly.
going to cross out that particular 250 point marker, because two more matches are left. If they get one booyah and close to 2, 3 second or third position, I believe it can easily bump them to that particular charter. But the possibilities are actually going to get solved by teams like WEBROS, teams like Arena Esports, or OG maybe actually coming up with a good counter. So that's what we are excited for. That's what we are here for. We want to see that kind of comeback coming from these teams, but the expectations are not the thing which is going to push. It's all about the performance for now. Apart from that, the right strategies have to be built, but changing your strategies at this kind of, let's say, moment is not going to be that easy. Your performance can easily go down to drain. But the next match is going to be Kalahari, and again I'm fearing for Team OG Elite that what have once again in the refinery region, OG Elite jumps in, Vibros is going to go there, welcome them, and apart from that, OPERAX is actually going to be there, and after that, all of a sudden, Nigma Galaxy will actually wind up coming up in that particular region, and this kind of whole ruckus will go on. But before that, Nigma Galaxy will go ahead and take down the team known as World of Battle, because Nigma Galaxy and World of Battle have a drop clash always in the Kalahari's map. In the last 24 matches, whenever the Kalahari came in, and in this particular grand finals as well, every now and then, whenever Kalahari was there, Nigma Galaxy was there as a drop clash team with Team World of Battle, and same goes for Vibros and Team OG Elite in the last few matches. So I don't know what OG Elite is going to do, or I don't know what Vibros is going to do, but one thing is pretty much common is that not even OG is going to get benefited of that drop clash, and not even Vibros is going to get benefited, because as soon as Vibros is able to counter OG Elite, what happens? OPERAX comes all of a sudden from their political perspective, and if the zone is there, any other team is actually going to come in while rotating and take them down, because their HP is not going to be that replenished. Because it's not like that OGL is going to completely go down and not even going to take your one or two players out. Yes, they were able to do so in the previous matchup as well. In the third match of the day number two, we saw that Vibros one or two members were surviving, and that is the reason why Team OPERAX was able to completely capitalize on that and was able to finish them out. So looking forward to that, what happens in the Kalahari region. Anything skeptical at this point coming from OG's corner is going to be very good, because we want to see some, should I say, sudden changes in their momentum, sudden surges in their fights. Let's see what happens.
Well, what happens in Kalahari stays in Kalahari. We all know that the Kalahari is a map that we have already been talking about. That it is a map of, usage of grappling hook guns. That is a map where you can use them to get the advantage over the enemies, over the higher terrain, where you can, gain that particular region where you can rule out the whole area. But right now, as we talked about, that Nigma Galaxy might have a drop clash with TWOB, but you never know, the tables might get turned anytime soon. Maybe this time when Nigma Galaxy comes out for a drop clash, TWOB might be fully ready for the movements, as you said, in the planes as well, and even in the three matches of Kalahari, as we witnessed today and yesterday. TWOB had been in clash with Nigma Galaxy in the drops, but maybe they might have read their strategies, maybe they might have practiced the statistics,
Yeah.
maybe they might not get on the same drop as well. Let's see what the leaderboards have in
Oh,
store for us. And here we go, the same thing that we were all afraid of. Well, a good position from Nigma Galaxy, strengthening up their situation with a 50 points lead. That is a total of 220 points for Nigma Galaxy. E Arena comes up to the 175 points margin, and E Arena might be the one that crosses 200 points today. But
hmm.
SES ALFAINK, beauty, you beauty, what a beautiful performance. Even after getting -10, they have managed to somehow get 1 point ahead from OG Elite. But if we talk about OG Elite, they have a good position point, but they lag behind in the finish points. They must get onto an aggressive stance. And if we see there, SES ALFAINK has also played one match lesser than all the teams up there, which means if they had got the chance over there, they might have been in the top 2 as well, which makes it clear that OG Elite has to grind hard, has to rush forward, because now the last two matches are there, and these two matches are not going to go easy on OG Elite as well as any other team.
Well, indeed, the impact is pretty much getting maximized at this point, and after seeing the leaderboard, it seems like that Enigma Galaxy have a fair chance on actually securing 250 points at the end of the day. And apart from that, E Arena have a fair chance of securing the 200 pointers marker as well, because they are stuck at 175. And as you said, SESL Fank is actually a very beautiful but aggressive team at the same time, because even after getting a penalty of -10 points for using the pets yesterday, they are still having 149 points. and they are still leading and are at the third position. But now let's directly dive into the Kalahari region. And in the Kalahari, well, the fights have already been started. The flight path came from Foundation, went down towards the confinement region or Santa Catarina, whatever you want to call it out. But it seems like that OG is also on the verge of getting eliminated. Look at that. Refinery is the region where they're going to drop in. And once again, those early losses are coming from the team. And in the close quarter, well, the nades are getting shorted. But look at the damage these guys are trying to dish out on each other. But another comes
Wow.
in. Pahadi, the sniper, is actually going to put one down. But let's see, can they actually counter it? That's the biggest question. Are there any kind of heals? The glue wall mentor has been appointed. Pahadi should actually find a beautiful region. I don't think so that the grappling hook gun is actually going to be here for him. But yes, the elimination is there. And WEBROS is now getting countered, and that is the counter that we wanted to see. But finally, he's going to jump with the help of those tires. He's actually going to figure out another beautiful region from which he can fight back. Yes, the vending machine is there, but in order to use it, he has to go in the enemy's uncharted area, and if that happens, it can be critical. But OG is back in the game. Look at that. Bhagwan Hasan Evos, they are actually back in the game. That is absolutely amazing. Amin Anis is here in the fight. Another shot comes in. Oh
Wow.
man, Pahadi, you beauty. You are not going to stop anytime soon. And seems like that, yes, they are not going to stop. Seems like that WEBROS are going to answer what they did in the third match for the day.
Well, for sure, we bros were responsible for everything, and now they have to answer the consequences right now. And for the moment, Pahadi has been eliminating the players pretty well. Two players have been already put down, and right now, if we talk about, we are up with 14 players, and as we saw, Delta X already got eliminated in between. Bhagwan has been knocked out once again, and will he be able to get revived? Well, not so soon. He has been finished off, but we still see three players of Team Orangutan surviving right now. Old Monk can be seen at a flank angle from where he will be able to, get the enemies, down on their knees. But right now, if we talk about DRANIX, has also been on an upfront margin where they are up for killing people, where they're up for killing their enemies. But right now, if we talk about Pahadi is at a brilliant situation. He has a good angle, he has a
Yeah.
great angle, I would rather say, and he might even get the enemies suffer some consequences for the mistakes that they have done by clashing with Orangutan.
Well, indeed, it's quite possible at this moment. And but Pahadi at this moment, this is the guy who loves to snipe around, who loves to take the fight on the long ranges, and eventually in the close quarters, his teammates are actually quite fruitful. But now look at that, they are trying to push forward. EA on the other corner goes on a rampage on Team The Mafias. It seems like that Team Mafias is also going to go down quite early, and their elimination is actually going to be on the possible pointers. And yes, the elimination is there. Another beautiful Indian subcontinent team is actually going to get wiped out, and that's going to be there's going to be a team known as Mafias. But Scythe, with the help of Scythe, Pahadi was able to finish off as another kill. Pahadi was able to bag out 3 finishes from the start of this particular matchup, even after losing Bhagwan. I believe another set of shop tokens can easily help out this team in order to bring back the glory for the teammates, and that could easily be a very beautiful approach. But look at that, they're not even going to focus on the shop tokens because they have further recall towers, so why not go for it? And Asin Evo's on the other corner. Let's see what he can do, how far he can actually stretch out the consignment. But Enigma Galaxy is now actually trying to wreak havoc on the team known as OPERAX, which was previously present in the Kalahari map in the refinery region. But if we talk about the live locations, look at that. Foundation is the region where Enigma Galaxy is lurking. I'm pretty much close to them. I believe Opera X is actually going to be there. They were in the maze, but after this particular fight, we can say that yes, they are in the close vicinities of Foundation and somewhere there. Team Mafias got eliminated hashtag 12, hashtag 11, and Delta X went out. The earliest team which actually went out was Team Delta X, if I'm not wrong. But on the backside, Old Monk is here trying to figure out where the loots are and trying to figure out if there is any enemy in the close quarter, and if there is actually going to be any kind of enemy, I believe they will be able to counter them because the manpower is there, because the momentum from the start is looking good for this team particularly.
Well, actually, and if we talk about right now, NIGMA Galaxy and TWOB, the World of Battle, they have been, separated from the drops. They are not on the same drop right now, which means that the both of the teams have an advantage of manpower. They might be surviving a pretty more, but look at Old Monk right now. He's leading his team for now. NGX Dew has already completed the margin of 44 solo kills. He was already in the competitor as a competitor in the race of MVPs. Let's see, will he be able to end the day with a 50 kill points? But that's the only question. The answers will be answered at the end. Right now, if we talk about Kalahari, has been beneficial for Team OG right now. They can defend the situation. They can defend themselves only if SES ALFAINK will get eliminated pretty early. The drops have been summoned and the drops will be looted pretty early. Once the drops are being looted, they will have all the, inventory, the arms and ammunitions they need. For now, we can see OPERAX They are, looting out and moving out into the zone. They are already inside the zone, but they are obviously trying to capture a better area from where they can have an overview over the enemies.
Well, definitely, if you have got that kind of, let's say, aspect, when you know where the enemies are rotating from and you know how far their rotations are going to go ahead, and eventually you are able to counter it, that would be quite lovely. But for now, if we talk about OPERAX, well, Yogi is there, Madan is going to be there, Insane is actually going to be there, Echo is going to be there. This is the kind of contestment we wanted to see. How far the contestment is going to go on is actually going to be a bigger question. But yes, the shots are getting there. Yogi on the other corner gets taken down. Madan also gets taken down. OPERAX is not looking good. Insane. Let's see, can he actually do something fruitful at this point? If we talk about Echo, he's also trying to fall back completely, or he might be actually the one who is going to contest and maybe indulge in a fight. But World of Battle, what is it? Well, Shanti there, Insane is there, and Itachi is there. Only the three men standing are there from Team World of Battle's corner. Seems like that there is a glitch, because 1, 3, and 4 is the number that we are actually able to see in the observer's corner. It could be a glitch, to be honest, guys, but if the glitch is actually going to get sorted, we might see the 4 members from Team World of Battle soon, because you can see that Insane is sitting as slot 1. On slot number 2, nobody is there. I don't know is slot number 2 is there or not. What kind of counting is there, but no idea what will happen at this point. But yeah, the level 2 loots are going to get secluded. Nigma Galaxy on the other corner is going to find OPERAX and maybe shut them down soon.
Well, actually, but the world of battle has seen the separation of both the, Uchiha brothers. Like Sasuke Bhai is not at all being seen right now. Itachi is the only one presenting the Uchihas. Let's see. But Itachi has already been knocked out. What are the other two players, that's Insane and Shanti, going to do in order to save his players? Right now, the nades are being tossed off. The nades are being tossed off pretty well, which will summon the ending of Itachi right now. Only two players left. Will they be able to, recall their players? But right now, the UAV has been deployed, which means that the position will get revealed pretty soon. The glue wall melters are also being deployed right now, and the grenades have also been tossed up, which means that the damage will be pretty on point. Insane with a beautiful usage of inhaler and glue walls have been has been able to seclude the enemy outside. Right now, if we talk about, the glue wall broke down and he has been knocked out. With this, Team WOB has been eliminated out of the game. This was pretty kind of a caster's curse, I would say, because we didn't want
Yeah.
TWOB to get eliminated, and they got eliminated. Well, from now on, I stop supporting any team. I am not supporting anyone. I'll just see and say whatever I see.
It happens. It happens whenever you are actually at the spectating perspective. We love to just, let's say, predict or speculate that this is going to happen and this is going to not happen and stuff like that. But eventually, in the battle arena, whatever happens is here. And yes, the teams which we were talking about are actually going to get eliminated. But eventually, yes, they have got 8 more matches to outperform and maybe showcase us some other brilliant strategies. But TSG on the other corner has started to pop out, and it's WEBROS and Nigma Galaxy and TSG which are in a deadly triangle. That could be the Bermuda Triangle where everybody is going to sink in, because there could be another third party coming close to them. But Nigma Galaxy, yes, it is the third party that we wanted to see, and Nigma Galaxy has been taken down. Now, this is the moment. Everybody has to just make sure, go ahead and figure out E Arena and OG along with SES ALFAINK. I'm talking about these three teams. If they are able to capitalize on this moment, it could be absolutely amazing.
Well, this is the capitalizing moment that every team has been waiting for, especially the top 4 teams. Right now, if we talk about E Arena is up with 4 players, and they have all the 4 players, with them, and 4 finishes as well. And if we talk about OG, the same stats. And if we talk about SES ALFAINK, 1 finish they have and 4 players they have all secured. Right now, if we talk about all the 3 teams, they have a position through which they can secure a safer position. But Tiger Wong comes in action right now, and they have got 7 finishes with 4 players alive. This team might be crushing the dreams of SES ALFAINK, OG, and E Arena. But let's see what is going to happen, because we can see that the players are already been, moving inside the zone, capturing the zone, and OG can be seen at a higher terrain area with good amount of loot, and Pahadi being the supporter, leading the team right now from a higher edge, telling them scouting the area. But EA Protite can be seen and knocking out players. And right now, if we talk about EA, is on a run right now.
Well, he is, but let's see how far he is actually going to go, and eventually, is there anybody who is going to capsize on it and take him down? Yes, it is actually going to be the fact, because now Shut Up is going to be the last man standing, who maybe who is actually going to be maybe able to shut up the enemy. But it seems like that at this point it's going to be a little bit more unreasonable. The knockout is there from Shutup's corner. That's amazing. He was able to dish out and eventually take one down. But fortunately, from the back end, SES Alphainks Ray was able to see his foots and he was able to shot him down. And just like that, Team SES Alphaink has another beautiful set of fight in their favor. And with that E-Arena, a big competition. Just after Enigma Galaxy is also out of equation. Now we have to see what happens between OG Elite and SES Alphaink, because that is the fight we are actually rooting for now. No offense to all the other teams which are surviving, but then again, this is the closest competition we would love to see for this day. But at this point, if we're talking about WEBROS, yes, they are trying to counter here. They are in the vehicle, but the flames are here, and the vehicle could actually go down, kaboom, anytime soon. And yes, two good members have been taken down. Drago and Supreme already are actually out of equation. Now Rohit is actually there, who's going to bring back his teammates' glory. And yeah, the revival is done. That's beautiful. But eventually, let's see how far this revival is going to help them. The inhalers are being used, but no! Drago Gurungwas again gets taken down. Seems like that the revival is not going to cut any kind of chase from this particular perspective. And Drago, Rohit, both of them are down. Poison becomes the last man standing. All he wants to do is just fall back from the scenario and maybe bring back his teammates.
Well, exactly. And if we talk about the present scenario, the battle scenario between SES and OG, SES had been leading with just a single point and OG was trailing behind by 1 point. But if we talk about the present scenario, both are equal and leveled. If any one of them tries to, if any one of them succeeds in getting the victory over other, they would be leading the leaderboard right now as per my calculations. But surpassing Nigma Galaxy right now is not at all possible for any other team, because they had a 60 points lead from the second position and even 100 points lead from the teams trailing behind at 5th or 6th. So for right now, TGWN, which is going to be Tiger Wong, has a good situation, has a good game in their courtyard. Let's see how will they utilize the ball, and will they be able to score a goal, or will they be goaled themselves?
Indeed, looking forward to it. But at this point, all we can do is just read out the impact of this particular fight. Team Tiger Wong looking decent. Shots are there. OPERAX on the other corner managed to eliminate one more guy out of the lobby. The perspectives are getting a little bit more clearer at this point, that the punch back, or should I say the harsh comebacks, are coming up, which is absolutely amazing. But on the other corner, if we talk about Dimas 90, Dimas OS, he's actually on the back foot. 4 elimination is there from this guy's corner. This seems quite lovely. An underdog team performing exceptionally well like this is absolutely amazing. But let's see how far they will be able to stretch out this kind of competition, because another knockout will come in, and Asin Evos, that means OG Elite is surviving. They are picking up some good fights. They are bringing up the competition up a notch. They're getting the knockouts. Well, let's see what they will be able to do. But TSG Army all of a sudden gets taken down. It's a big loss for TSG once again. Old Monkas and Evos Pahari, both of them are triple, or should I say the triple or trio of that particular team has been taken down. Is it going to be a possibility where OG is also going to go down soon? And yes, the elimination comes in. It's OG Elite out of equation. Now only 4 teams are surviving. It's Team Tiger Wong, SES Alphaink, OPERAX, and WEBROS with a bare minimum HP, with a bare minimum guy, a bare minimum manpower, to be honest. But let's see what happens. OPERAX insane. They're trying to circumcise everything which is there in the close quarters. They are trying their level best to gain as many S points as possible. But is it going to be an easy approach? That is the biggest question for now.
Well, right now, if you talk about Tiger Wong is in a lead right now. SES Alphaink has already maintained its lead and secured the 3rd position for now. But will he be able to surpass E-Arena right now? That's the major question. But if you talk about OPX Arena, they have played pretty well. And WEBROS, from being at the bottom of the table, they have somehow jumped up, and these 4 teams are the ones that are going to compete against each other. 3 teams can be seen with a full 4-man manpower, and 1 team is only down with 1 man. Let's see who is going to be the game changer for now. This 4v1 is going to be the present scenario that we are all going to witness. One of the most interesting Kalahari matches that I have ever witnessed, and this kind of scenario is something that we were actually expecting from the grand finale. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I say grand finale, this is the benchmark that we were expecting. The glue wall melters have been deployed on point, and these glue wall melters would help in securing some good glue wall melting and getting the clear view over the enemy. Let's see what is going to happen in the near future.
Well, indeed, in the near future, one thing is actually for sure, that the best is going to bag out. booyah for this particular matchup. But let's see which team is going to be that one who's going to get the booyah den in their favor at this point. If we talk about the calibration, says it is done. WEBROS poison. Look at this guy. How beautifully he's just trying his level best to survive around, but eventually his position was also revealed because we saw those glue walls getting dismembered by the enemy. So very soon the elimination of WEBROS could actually come in, but the teams are pretty much busy in taking up a fight with those rosters which are having the manpower. SES ALFAINK, look at them. Rain, Jojo are the only two members surviving. He has got the nade in his hand. He's going to put it down. Yes, the damage is there. 76 HP is already pretty much depleted, but look at that. The answer from that nade is actually going to be quite deadly. And yes, that another nade which actually came in front of us was absolutely on point. But on the other corner, Echo, Tiger Wong, they're also looking good enough. OPERAX and Tiger Wong, these are two teams I'm pretty much skeptical about. But OPERAX is having the highest amount of manpower, which is absolutely lovely. WEBROS already out of equation. The glue walls are something which is going to get, should I say, taken down soon enough. But the charge buster is going to get used up. But before that, the knockout came in. Ray gets taken down, and it's Jojo, the last man standing. He has a sniper. He has the M10, he has a grappling hook gun, but what is it he's going to use? He uses a grappling hook gun to actually bail out from that situation or maybe have another area. What is he doing? He was aiming on the grounds, but now his aim is actually going to be pretty much confined to an area where the shots will be in front of him. Oh, wow. The knockout comes in. That's a beautiful answer. I was skeptical about his aim, but now look at that. The knockout is here. M10 is in the hands. He's going to repatch himself. Once again, the sniper is in the hands. Once again, M10 gets shifted. Don't know what is going to happen, but here's the competition is of a close spot and it's a battle between two giants. Oh man, let's see what happens at this moment. Tiger Wong or SES ALFAINK. Who is going to back out this booyah? That is the biggest question. What do you think, guys? Coming down at the same instance, but now very soon we'll get to know an answer. If I talk about Faker, I don't see that he has got the right guns. Yeah, he has got the M187, which would be absolutely amazing. A shotgun versus shotgun fight, M10 versus M887, and yes, the shots are coming out. But Jojo at the same instances, the way he's actually picking up the blue walls is looking quite well. But finally, the shot came in. I'm surprised. Imko, do you know which is the guy who got the booyah?
Exactly, this is SES ALFAINK. They just literally snatched the victory from the mouth of Tiger Wong. Tigers couldn't hunt their prey totally down, and SES ALFAINK got the booyah in their favor. They have played pretty brilliantly, and they are the team right now having most number of booyahs, which means that this team is obviously going to get in the top 2 pretty soon. Let's see what is going to be the result for now. But right now, I was rooting for, to be honest, Tiger Wong secretly. I wanted Tiger Wong to, get the booyah, get their first booyah. But Fastest curse, even if you think of it, they don't do it. I'm very sorry.
See, at the end of the day, Tiger Wong and OPERAX are the two teams which are the underdogs which have been invited in this grand finals, and they are absolutely performing quite well. In the specific match number 6, should I say Kalahari, they were absolutely on point. They were performing quite well, but eventually, at the end of the day, at the end of the match, we have to see that which is the team which was quite consistent. We saw OPERAX having the 4-man power. SES had only 1 member left, and I believe the other team, Tiger Wong, had only 2 members left. But then also what happened, the 4 members standing from OPERAX all of a sudden went out of the equation. They were completely taken down. I mean, how is it so possible that when you have got the 4-man power and there is just 3 members which are standing in front of you and then also it gets taken down? So this is a approach that these teams have to build and maybe come back even stronger in the next upcoming matches. But definitely I'm quite happy to see these undergods rising so high that they are giving the contestant to those teams which are the should I say, true champions in their own meta, in their own region. SES ALFAINK, if I talk about that team in the eventual standings, I believe they will be able to they will be able to be a little bit closer to the second position, or maybe the second position would have been in their favor because there was 175 points. Arena went out quite early. Yes, they had quite a few points in their favor as well, but then again they went out quite early, and after that SES ALFAINK also did a beautiful number of frag. They also were able to attain a number of frags. So looking forward to see what kind of impact is going to be there in the leaderboard. I'm quite happy to see these teams performing exceptionally well, but TSG Army, I'm sad for that team purposely because that is another team which was brought back in the action even after the disqualification in the play-ins by the fans, by these lovely guys who are actually watching them or rooting for that particular team. But then again, the competition is not working out for TSG. I don't know what is wrong, but we are missing actually Black, the guy from Team TSG. And we are missing that guy. If he would have been there, the 4-man roster, the synergy would have been there. I believe the job would have been a little bit more easier for TSG to perform with.
Well, actually, in these battle royale games, Raider,
Mm.
that the majority of things lies on the synergy that you have with your partner, the synergy that you
Precisely.
have with your teammates. The playing 4 the kind of synergy that they have will not be, they won't be able to adjust it with anyone else, even if a single person, a single player gets changed. And that's what they are facing right now. Due to the unavailability of Black, they are not being able to, get into their comfort zone, get out of their, struggling areas, and
Hmm.
get to stand on the viewers, opinions, how the viewers supported them. Well, there's a day of comeback. This is a day of comeback. Last match is left, which
Yeah,
is going to be the table turner, as you have been saying since the start of the day. And Alpine is
yeah,
one of the new additions to the grand finals, which means that this new addition yesterday was a table turner for Nigma Galaxy, as I had thought that
exactly.
they might be the champions. I mean, I'm sorry, they might be the table toppers, but without any booyah. But they table topped with a booyah. So that is quite difficult to, even
Yeah.
to I would say anything about the map, because this map is not pretty predictable, as we have seen Kalahari, Purgatory, and Bermuda. Alpine is a mystery in itself.
Hmm.
Let's see what is going to happen in this match, and I'll be more than honored to see.
Well, definitely, we both are going to be honored with this particular match and the presence of these amazing 12 teams which have just maintained their legacy all throughout. But yeah, eventually in the plains, we saw quite a few other regions also getting there in the particular matchup. We saw a Pakistani team which was known as Hotshot Official, which was unfortunately unable to qualify for the battle in the grand finals. We saw a team coming from Bangladesh, which was known as RHK Official, if I'm not wrong, which was also disqualified just because of the points that they had in the whole overall standing. Well, in order to know what was the overall standing and what kind of impact was there, make sure to follow Lidoma Asia on their Instagram, and you will get any update. You will get any and every update about the maybe postponing of the matches and stuff like that, because this matches was scheduled to happen, or should I say, this match, to be precise, the match we are witnessing today, it should have been the last day as per the schedule, because 20th Jan was the last day of this particular tournament, but eventually, due to some reasons, or should I say, giving the break to these teams, I believe we were able to postpone it. And the updates were there on Instagram, but still people were expecting that why are we not present on 18th, because 18th was the day where we were off, and eventually the matches were scheduled for next upcoming days. So in order to get every single update, yes guys, go ahead and follow Lidoma Asia on their Instagram, join the Discord server, because apart from Instagram, the next place where the updates come in is the Discord server, if I'm not wrong, because any tourization, any tournament, any insight about the tournaments or the live links and stuff like that, all of them apart from Instagram are actually going to get dropped on the Discord server. And in Discord server, you can talk with our moderators freely, roam around, and know what kind of new tournaments are going to are bound to happen, or are going to come, because this is just the start of 2023. And in this year, I believe a lot more tournaments coming from these orgs are actually going to be there. So I'm quite excited to see what happens, and quite stoked, to be precise, to see who is going to become the champion. But for that, 8 more matches, to be precise, are to be waited. And tomorrow, after the seventh match is over, we'll get to see who is going to become the champion.
Well, actually, even I'm very excited to see who is going to be the champion. And most importantly, by the end of today, we will be knowing that who are the top three contenders for the MVP race as well. Because getting that MVP title adds you up an extra $50, as well as a prestigious, title of being the MVP of Lidoma Esports Presents Asia Invitational Season 2, powered by Loco. And if you, look at it at a bigger picture, you will gain even more of the experience as well. But if we talk about right now, SES, ALFAINK, and OG
Ooh,
Elite have been leveled out. Now, this is not something that everyone is expecting. 7 points in lead for Nigma Galaxy right now. They have created a bit of a more margin, but E Arena got eliminated pretty early. And right now, I'm looking at that only because of 2 kill points, SES, Alpha Inc. and OG Elite have been leveled. Now, this is the goosebumps kind of level of action that
yeah.
we were about to witness from the grand finals day 2. Tomorrow is the last day. What do you think? Will there be any kind of changes in this overall standings?
Yeah, indeed, the changes are going to be there for sure. But eventually, in the first position, seems like that it's not going to be that easy to change that particular position. But if the changes are
Exactly.
going to be there, that could be the huge, or should I say, most hyped comeback coming from these teams, particularly if the comeback is going to be there tomorrow. But seems like that Nigma Galaxy is pretty much ready to counter everything which you are going to throw in front of them, and that's quite lovely to be honest. We want to see a team like that which from the start straight up dominates and eventually showcases a run. But for now, I believe we are going to dive into another beautiful match. That is going to be Alpine, and as you can see, that ocean view is going to be the area where from the flight path is going to start, and eventually it goes towards the base camp and the another island that is pretty much close to base camp and right. But for now, let's see what happens. Team Mafia is actually in a tussle. They're trying to actually take up the fight. Their HPs are not looking that good. Killer on the other corner is about to go down. Seems like that because he got diminished quite well. And yeah, Killer is going to be the one who has been taken down. But who is the guy who's finishing off Killer and taking him down is going to be the bigger question for me, because would love to see who is at the other end of the competition, who is the other end of the duel. But Killer being knocked out, his revivals is something I'm actually excited to see if the revival comes in. Mafia Bala comes in from the right angle so that he can actually maybe just go ahead and recall his teammate. Killer on the other corner is just prone down and should I say knocked out, and giving the positional cues to his teammates that yes, there is enemy in the close quarter. You can come or you can stay back, whatever the cues are actually going to go on. But OG again gets eliminated quite early.
Well, this is not something that you expect from a team called OG. This, like, not at all. I'm totally astonished with what is going on right now. But focusing on the current scenario, Team Mafia is also at the verge of extinction. Mafia being the last one remaining, he has also been eliminated. Now, this fast-paced action was not at all expected from the map called Alpine. Team Mafias again being eliminated pretty early, and Orangutan also being eliminated pretty early, which creates a big gap for SES ALFAINK to overcome the same differential margin and get towards the second point. Now everything depends on E Arena and NGX. If these two teams, oh my god, TWOB has also been eliminated. Now what is happening right now, Raider?
Oh man, it's the last match. Everybody wants to go bonkers for this day, and seems like that yes, the teams are going for it. But if we talk about TSG, their rosters are shuffling quite a bit. You can see that now there is another guy who is fighting for TSG. Previously, we had Deadro's exit rad, if I'm not wrong, which was trying to fight for the team. But if we talk about SES, yes, they are here. Yes, they are trying to counter. Yes, they are trying to pick up the points. But let's see how far they will be able to go and what kind of advantage these guys are actually going to get built in their favor is going to be the big question. But yes, Bara, Ray, Jojo, Gide, everybody is just trying to figure out the right strategy through which they should go in, through which they should actually build the points, through which they should maybe bag out the right amount of points. That is the biggest question for now. But on the other corner, yes, the safe zone is shrinking. But another beautiful shot came in. It's Team SES ALFAINK, which is not going to go down that easily, and was able to have a beautiful advantage of this particular fight. Now they're trying to melee him down, if I'm not wrong. And yes, the elimination came in, which was absolutely amazing. Bara and his teammates are looking quite confident. SES ALFAINK seems like that they're able to clutch out the fights which are in the close quarters. But let's see, is it going to be that easy for them in the near future? Because the circles, whenever they are going to shrink in, things won't be that easy for the team.
Well, actually, and we can already see that there are 35 players only remaining. 3 finishes for SES. Bara SES has been playing pretty well, and I'm definitely very sure that if SES continues to dominate the way they are doing right now, they might even end up at the second position of the day. But Nigma Galaxy with that lead might have been in their chill zone, might have been in their, clear, relaxed area where they have just to maintain the lead and they don't have the tension in their heads to gain that lead, anything. Just they have to maintain it. They have to get 1-2 points, a few points per match, and they'll be on the top till the end.
Well, indeed, Imgod, as you said, it is going to be quite risky. But for now, if we talk about live locations, we can see that Nigma Galaxy is actually on the verge of Stadium. Carousel is going to be there where Delta X is surviving. WEBROS is in the Fusion. TSG is in the Dock. And OG and Team Mafias, these are the two teams along with World of Battle have been eliminated at hashtag 12th, 11th, and 10th respectively. Meanwhile, if we talk about DRANIX Esports, Snowfall is the area where the fights are coming in. And Team Tiger WONG, I would love to see what they're going to do and what kind of strategies they're going to bring back in this particular matchup along with OPERAX as well. But for now, it seems like that EA is looking decent, and yes, they are having the right advantages as well.
Well, actually, they do have the right advantage with them, but if we talk about EA right now, they are using the launch pads. They have the full 4-man advantage with them, and they also have, the loot advantage, the drop advantage, and they may be the ones to succeed in to get, the booyah as well this match. But for now, right now, I'm thinking that maybe if SES tries to come back, they might even surpass EA. And EA has four players ahead right now. They are inside the zone. They have a good area inside the zone, but they might be eliminated anytime soon if they face any kind of difficulties from the background.
Indeed, that could be the possibility. Let's see how far the possibilities are going to evolve. EA August is trying his level best to figure out another beautiful strategy and maybe come back even stronger. For now, three teams have been eliminated. The remaining which are surviving are in a pickle, and that fight is going to be quite lovely to watch out. But for the other corner, Nigma Galaxy once again starts off. Dew is going to put one down, and it is looking like Nigma Galaxy wants to attain as many S points as possible in Alpine because that's what they did yesterday, and they made a record, if I'm not wrong, in the grand finals of 21 packs in an individual match from an individual team. Looking forward to it. What happens at this point? Because if you just assume, if you just try to recap what happened yesterday, like 21 finishes coming from the team known as Nigma Galaxy, it shows that half of the lobby, almost half of the lobby, of 40% of the lobby, were completely taken down by that particular team. It shows their dominance, it shows their skill set. But now moving up ahead, EA wants to be a little bit more closer to the area where the recoil tower is.
Well, for sure, and right now EA has been at a good position. They know that if they stay near the, recoil tower, they will have a good situation. They will have a good situation up ahead, and they might even target the teams that are going to come for the recall. And DRANIX can be seen this time surviving a bit more than the previous matches. But right now, if we talk about the present scenario, we can see that all the teams are either eliminated or they have the full four-man squad. None of the team can be seen with one man or two man less. All are four-man strong, which means that the only three teams eliminated right now where okay, wait a second, something happened between a few elements of a second, and Delta X meanwhile can be seen eliminated totally.
Well, indeed, the eliminations are coming up. That's actually a beauty, to be precise, of this particular fight. Let's see how far they will be able to stretch out this kind of eliminations and what kind of predictability they are actually going to come up with. But TSG is looking decent. They have got the advantages. They have got the right amount of frags, should I say. But let's see how far they will be able to stretch out their callouts and eventually what kind of impact these guys are actually going to bring back is another big question that I actually want to go with. But now, looking forward to see how far they will be able to stretch out. Yes, the teams are actually shifting their drop locations. They're trying their level best to figure out some new places where they should actually drop in and maybe come back even harsher on the enemy. Because at the end of the day, what you have to do is gain as many S points as possible, and that's what these giants are trying to go for.
Well, actually, these lads are playing pretty well right now, and we can see that four teams have been already been eliminated, and right now we are left with the eight top teams. Now, these eight teams are going to decide what is going to be the position on the points table. And for now, we can see that SES is at a good position right now. TGWN, I mean Tiger Wong, can be seen at a good position, also having 7 finishes and 4 players alive. But if we talk about DRANIX is already lost drastically. DRANIX is trying to survive right now, but will they be able to do that? OPX is already eliminated DRANIX again, and the Caster's Curse getting successful once again. I'm very sorry for that, because as soon as I said that DRANIX might not get eliminated, they got eliminated pretty soon. But right now we can see that 5 teams have been eliminated, more 7 to go. 7 teams right now are going to fight for the third zone right now. They are up with 40 seconds left for the safe zone to shrink right now. SES can be seen at the top leading right now, but Tiger Wong, this team, I have to praise this team, how this team has been constantly performing since the last 3 matches, including this one, how they have been performing consistently, how they have been getting good number of finishes, and they have been able to survive till the end of the zones. But right now, if we talk about TSG is at a good spot. All the teams have their full 4-man alive, and they are into the zone with a good position advantage as well. But let's see what is going to happen in the further near future. And if we talk about Nigma Galaxy is up with only 1 finish, and with this 1 finish, Nigma Galaxy is pretty relaxed in their own zone. They know that they don't have to overcome it or overcome anything. They have already overcame everything they wanted. And right now, if we talk about WEBROS can also be seen at a good spot. And meanwhile, OPERAX getting up with 6 finishes, and TSG losing 1 member meanwhile. And OPERAX can be seen at a good spot with 6 finishes and 4 full players alive. They are up on all fours, and this is the final match of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, WEBROS, Supreme can be seen going down, and Drago GRG can be seen coming down from up, and Rohit Poison. These three are the players that are going to be the, flag bearers for the team WEBROS for final match. Safe zone is right now shrinking and they are outside of the zone. They might have to get inside the zone pretty early, or else they might be, hunted down by other teams coming outside from the zone, or might have been the prey for the teams that are already waiting for them inside the zone. Right now, we can see that Tiger Wong has 7 finishes and all the full 4 players remaining. They are at the dominating phase right now and they have a good position as well. But look at NIGMA Galaxy. NIGMA Galaxy already has a good position up around in the zone, but once the zone has been shifted, they have to shift their split as well. They were in a good split, but right now the split has to be broken. They have to leave behind the teams that were coming outside from the zone, and they have to get inside the zone. Otherwise, the zones might get captured. As we can see that T21 teams can be seen inside the total zone right now, and look at the compactness of the zone. 20 players. TSG Army has also been eliminated, and with this we are left with only top 6 teams, and these top 6 teams are going to quarrel amongst each other to find out who is going to be the Booyah contender for the final match of the day. NGX can be seen at a good spot right now. NGX is trying to get inside the zone as well. Right now, if you talk about NGX has already lost 1 player, and OPERAX meanwhile can also be seen eliminated pretty early, down to the last 5 teams. Let's see what is going to happen. NIGMA Galaxy is up on a race right now, but will they be able to stop the enemies from hunting them down? Will they be the ones to be the hunters, or will they be the prey? That's the major question right now. Players have been using glue walls definitely pretty well against all the enemies and opponents. Right now, using their melee weapons and melee downing the opponents right now is one of the choices that these players have. And for the moment, Tiger Wong has also been eliminated. The team that had been leading since now has been eliminated. SES ALFAINK on the other hand can be seen at a good, strong point right now. And if we talk about NIGMA Galaxy has only got 1 finish, but 3 players are still alive. E-Arena can be seen with 4 finishes and still alive with 3 people, which means that E-Arena can match up or can even extend the lead from SES ALFAINK. But if we talk about SES ALFAINK right now, they are not stopping at all. They are getting kills by kills. They have already got 10 finishes for their account, and right now if we talk about E-Arena has got only 5 finishes. But in the total scenario, we have seen that there are 3 players left in each team. 4 teams right now, which counts up to 12 players, but right now we can see that 10 players are up there, which means the death board is not at all updated right now. Let's see when will the death board get updated. But if we look at WEBROS right now, WEBROS are at a good position. They have a good compound in hand, and this good compound might help them getting some good finishes as well. But right now, looking at NIGMA Galaxy, they are not looking quite strong. Also, they are quite relaxed. Why do they have to take up so much pressure or build up so much pressure? They are already in a 60 to 70 point lead, which means they have to just play their natural game, and this relaxed game will obviously help them gain the victory. Double kill from Stop, very beautifully executed, and also we can see that right now only 8 players remain, and these 8 players are going to determine who is going to be the one winning, ending the day on tabletop. Right now, if we talk about NIGMA Galaxy is at a good spot. We can see that SES got eliminated pretty early, which means E-Arena will be maintaining the lead as per now. But talking about WEBROS can also be seen at the back foot right now. Only 1 player remaining, and they also got eliminated. Now this is a battle of 3v2 between the top 2 teams right now. E-Arena with a total of 3 men remaining, and NIGMA Galaxy with 2 men. Will NIGMA Galaxy be able to repeat the history? Will the history repeat itself? And will NIGMA Galaxy be the ones to get Booyah once again? Let's see what is going to happen. Protite can be seen moving forward through the forged glue walls, but right now will he be able to make the flank angle possible over Stop? Because Stop can be seen in front of him, and Stop is at a good angle. Right now he tried to in fact stop the players from NIGMA Galaxy, but Stop is not going to stop. Limit can be seen limiting the players out of the boundaries, but right now will that be sufficient for them to stop NIGMA Galaxy? That's not the answer right now. Let's see what the answer is going to be. EA, 2 players can be seen on the ground and 1 player can be seen on the higher terrain in order to get the verge of the zone, and also in order to get the players on their knees. Right now, this 3v2 is going very intense. The plantation of glue walls, the usage of snipers in close range is going to be very intense right now. Caramel can be seen in a 1v1 situation. EA Limit got a finish, and with this, the history didn't repeat itself, but the second position contenders have got the booyah for themselves, and E-Arena Esports have shown Nigma Galaxy that they are no way less than them. Even if they have a disadvantage, they will be the ones to conquer up, and they have made a beautiful play out of the whole. This was the final match of the day, ladies and gentlemen. This was the final match of second day. Tomorrow is going to be the third day. We will witness a few, goosebumps, a few gut-wrenching action tomorrow. But E-Arena Esports today has ended the day on a good note. Might be they might have closed up the lead a bit. But if we talk about Nigma Galaxy, they also didn't hesitate in getting the number of finishes, the number of positions they had. They also ended up at the second position, which means that they might have also increased the lead a bit, which means that it is going to be difficult for E-Arena Esports to match up the lead to get to the level where Nigma Galaxy is right now. And getting Nigma Galaxy out of league is going to be very tough for any team right now. Nigma Galaxy must have reached somewhere around 250 points marker. Let's see, will they be able to cross the 350 points marker tomorrow, or that's one of the biggest questions right now in everyone's mind, and I'm pretty sure that everyone must be thinking of it. Let's see what is going to happen in the near future. But for today's games, these were the games, these were the table turners, these were all the maps that you guys have witnessed, that we have witnessed, that we have seen. Right now, if you talk about every team, each and every team have given in all their best. Each and every team have tried to outperform everything they could. But at the end, the table toppers have been the same, and I can bet on it that Nigma Galaxy won't let anyone forge their lead this way, because Nigma Galaxy knows that they have sacrificed a lot, they have given out a lot, they have played out a lot, they have practiced out a lot, and they have defeated a lot of people to be on this stage. And once they are on this stage, they won't let anyone dethrone them. And the major question is, one position and a lot of competitors: SES ALFAINK, E-Arena Esports, OG Elite, OPERAX Esports. These four are the major contenders for first position. 7 more matches remain, guys. You never know what will happen in any of the matches. Maybe SES ALFAINK be the one to get to the first position. Maybe OG Elite be the one to get to the first position. Maybe OPERAX, or maybe anyone out of the 12 teams. But getting to the top position won't be easy at all. You would need some gut wrenching action to get there. You will need some next level of aggressiveness to get there. But the only thing I know right now is that tomorrow's day, the final day, is going to be full of action. Tomorrow's day is going to be the kind of action that everyone has expected from Lidoma's Asia Invitational Season 2. After season 1, we all were expecting that some kind of a similar action should be seen in the season 2, and that's what we are witnessing. Alpine, the new addition of the map, has made the tables turn. It is actually the table turner, as Raider was saying earlier. It is actually the table turner, and the tables have been turned pretty well. The tables have been turned out pretty well, and these turntables have made the dishes flip as well. Now let's see what are these flip dishes going to do. What are these new substitutions, new subtractions are going to do. What are these players having in their mind? What are they having in plan for us? What are they having in store for us? All the only thing that I know right now is we are going to witness some next level action, and this action will be presented to you by Lidoma Esports presents Asia Invitational Season 2. Well, after this final match, I know everyone is eagerly waiting, I would rather say, for the final results, for the overall standings of day 2 and the MVP leaderboard. Well, I would like you guys to predict who do you think will be the leader in the MVP leaderboard, and who will be the top 5 of leaderboard of the overall day standings. Right now, as per my calculation, I would like to say first position, as we all know, contended by Nigma Galaxy. Second would be E Arena Esports. Third would be SES Alpha Inc. Fourth would be, I guess, OPERAX Esports. And fifth would be somewhere around Orangutan Esports. This is what my calculation says, but the points table will be in front of you guys in no time soon. Well, since the past few days, we have been witnessing that out of the four Bermuda maps, SES Alpha Inc. has been the one to conquer three of them, which means that the majority of Bermuda maps have been conquered by SES Alpha Inc., which means the basics are pretty clear. They know how to dominate in the most classical map, but on the other hand, if we talk about them in the, the unique matches like the Purgatory or the Alpine, those are the two matches where they shake up a bit, but they know how to come back, they know how to make a comeback. And in a total of, they have got 4 booyahs by now. Nigma Galaxy has also got 3 booyahs by now. And EA, if we talk about E Arena Esports, has also got 4 booyahs by now, which sums up a total to 4 booyahs for two teams and 3 booyahs for a team, which are going to be contending for the top three places in the finals. And I'm pretty sure that these three teams might not. I'm pretty sure, I can bet on it, that these three teams will be seen in the top five, in the top half of the table tomorrow. But the major question arises, who will be the champion? Who will be crowned as the champion? For today, we all know Nigma Galaxy is the one, the unbeatables. But tomorrow, the tables might turn. Tomorrow, the way Nigma Galaxy performed today might be the way some else team performs. Like Orangutan has improved a bit, but they also degraded a bit. Like in the last two matches, they got eliminated pretty early, which resulted in their lowering of the rank in their points table, which means that they have to make a comeback pretty soon, or else these apes won't be able to defend their territory. These apes won't be able to make rule out their territory on their own. For now, the points table are going to be in front of you guys very soon, and till then, I'm waiting for you guys. Like, I'm on my phone right now, I'm waiting for you guys to say, who do you think is going to be the table topper for the day? Well, that's pretty easy. Why don't you guys tell me who is going to be the one, who is going to be the top 5 of today? Let's see what are your predictions. Well, as per my predictions, let's see whom all are doing match up. And okay, we have been also getting a lot of criticism for Team Mafia. Well, let me tell you guys that Team Mafia has been also facing some adverse effects. They have also been playing well, but there are a few, times where they need your support. In fact, any team right now playing out there needs your support who has not been performing pretty well. So I would like to say that instead of criticizing them for the performance, you should root for them that they should perform well. You should vote for them. You should ask them, or you should even text them, ping them, do anything. Just please support them. Maybe your support would be the reason that they would become the champions of this tournament. Maybe, you never know. The tables might get turned any day, anytime, anywhere. So with this line, I would want to see the points table as well. But for now, you know, NGX, this team has created a pretty huge fan base right now. And as Raider was saying earlier, that even in the play-ins, they got up to a 350 points margin. Right now, the major question is, will they be able to cross the 350 points margin in the 21 matches right now? Or will they be dethroned by any other team that is going to, upscale themselves in the points table? But right now, okay, the 250 points margin wasn't completed totally, but look at E Arena. E Arena has got up a lot. They have crossed the 200 points margin, and they are only trailing by 42 points, which might get covered up tomorrow if they play pretty well. Now, if we talk about, the overall standings, first position goes to Nigma Galaxy with 144 eliminations, 102 ranking points, and 246 total points. E Arena, 4 booyahs, 14 matches, 116 kill points, 88 position points, 204 total points. SES ALFAINK, 4 booyahs once again, 13 matches. Let me remind you guys, if they would have played one more match, they would have been at the second position for sure. 13 matches, 98 kill points, 80 position points, 178 total points. OG Elite 1 Booyah, 14 matches, 87 kill points, 75 position points, 162 total points. They might have to level up a bit. OPERAX, if we talk about 0 Booyahs, 14 matches, 68 kill points, 80 position points, and 148 total points. And then there comes WEBROS. WEBROS were at the bottom half of the table, but right now they are in the top half of the table, which is pretty great for them. 1 Booyah, 14 matches, 73 kill points, 65 position points, 138 total points. Tiger Wong, 0 Booyahs, 14 matches, 74 kill points, 57 position points, 131 total points. The Mafias, 1 Booyah, 14 matches, 66 kill points, 54 position points, 120 total points. TSG Army, 0 Booyahs, 14 matches, 53 kill points, 55 position points, and 108 total points. TWOB, 0 Booyahs, 14 matches, 54 of kill points, 51 of position points, 105 of total points. DRANIX Esports, if we talk about, 14 matches, 45 kill points, 44 position points, and an 89 of total points. Whereas Delta X Esports, if we talk about, 0 Booyahs, 13 matches only. They also played a match less with 37 kill points, 42 position points, and 79 for total points. These are the total overall standings for day 2, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of shifting has been seen up and down, but right now if we talk about the kill leaders or the MVP leaders, today we can see that the tables have turned a bit. Limit was yesterday there, Protite was not, but today Protite has also been included in the race. NGX Dew can be seen leading the leaderboard with 6 finishes lead and total of 46 finishes. EA Limit trailing just behind with 6 less finishes, that is a total of 40 finishes, and EA Protite with a total of 37 finishes, trailing behind EA Limit with only 3 finishes less and a total of 37 finishes. These are the 3 most valuable players, out of which 2 are from E Arena Esports, which is a very proud thing for a team, that out of the 3, majority of players of MVP are from your side. Well, these were the stats for today, ladies and gentlemen, and I would love to thank each and everyone for tuning in. If you guys liked our casting and if you guys like the stream quality, just don't forget to make sure that you like the stream, you drop a subscribe and follow us on our socials given in the description. See you guys on the 3rd day, on the final day. Till then, everyone, take care, stay safe, stay home. Bye bye, good night. Aim God signing off.
Disco. Disco.